Well. What a pleasant good evening, good morning, good afternoon. And what a pleasant way I'd like to welcome you to the Friday's edition of the closing argument. On today's edition of the program, we have as guest the chairman of the Liberty Party, opposition Liberty Party, Chairman Musa Hassan Bility. And so this program is being really on Hot FM 107.9 in Monroeville and Pumat FM 106.3 in Bomi County. So my name is Aisin Diba, and we will now join the host of the show, Chairman Ben Sanvee, who will continue on with the program. Chairman, good evening.
Hey, it's good to see you. How are you?
Well, I'm okay, and you?
Good as always. Thank you again. Thank you to the many listeners. Please, it's good to see you guys. The rest of the guys will be joining us very soon. Ayesha, how's the town going? How's Morovia?
Well, Moravia is relatively calm, except for Painesville. As you may be aware, the Soul Clinic community was a scene of riot
Mm-hmm.
today when one of the motorcyclists was killed by people believed to be robbers. And so that did not go well with the cyclists in the area. And so they decided to go on the rampage,
Hmm.
and they suspected one Nigerian national who they claim that he might have been the one behind the killing. They allege of him buying stolen motorbikes and keeping it in his container. So they went on a rampage and set ablaze the fellow container, and that has been an issue in the Pinsville area,
Hmm.
scaring pedestrian drivers to plow a certain route in the area. So basically, from the Pinsville end, that has been the news coming from Painesville. And in Central Town, as you may be aware, today is National Fast and Proud Day, and
Yeah.
it was strategically placed on the Friday, both for Christians and Muslims. As you may be aware,
Mm.
they also pray on Friday. So it brought together the Christian and the Muslim communities coming together to pray for the country as we head towards the 2023 election.
Great. Great. Well, thank you for that. Thank you, and happy fast and prayer day to Liberians. You know, Liberia is the only country that I know we have so many holidays. It's not even funny. And then sometimes we wonder why our economy it's so but that's another discussion for another day. Kev, it's good to see you. Welcome. um you know what I was doing, right? I was sharing the show. I was trying to, because a lot of people have been complaining that they don't have the notification, they're not getting a notification. So I keep telling everybody it's important for you to go to KMTV Liberia. It's KMTV Liberia page. Go to the Facebook page and turn on your notification. Turn on all your notification. You will be able to get the notification. Very Martin, it's good to see you. Welcome. Today you are joining us as guest panelists. We do have the national chairman of the Liberty Party, my party, and the chairman of the collaborating political parties, the CPP, Chairman Musa Hassan Bilite. He's made some news of late. We're going to be listening to what he has to say. There's a lot going on. Obviously, we're going to do a rundown. When the chairman comes on, we'll get a chance to, to go over some of the things with him. We're going to talk about national issues. We're going to talk about national issues. I anticipate this is a highly anticipated interview. People have been waiting to hear from Chairman Bility on some of the issues that are trending in the country from the CPP's perspective. They were just in court. Liberty Party, the long-standing Liberty Party case has been finally dealt with. the case has been decided by the opinion of the Supreme Court. The full bench of the Supreme Court has weighed in on the Liberty Party issue, and then the CPP also had a case that the Supreme Court also weighed in on. So before we go into the rundown, let's give a chance to you guys to say one or two words and welcome our followers. We're going to continue to talk to our people to continue to share the show, share the show, share the show, turn on your notifications. That's the only way you will be able to get the notification once we come on. So Ray Martin, it's good to see you. Keff Hassan, you want to come in with your few words first, and then Ray Martin will then speak. I know Jackie said she will be joining us a little late for a few more minutes, so but Tomalin is in Monrovia, and Peabody will also be joining us very soon. So go ahead.
Oh, okay. Well, today is a very busy day for me, Ben, as you know. Well, let me say hi to my Reverend Martin. How are you, sir?
How you doing, Jeff? Good. I'm fine. How are you?
I'm doing great. Well, we're hoping
Wonderful.
to talk to Mr. Chairman Bility of the Liberty Party. I think it's
Hmm.
going to be a good show today, and we're going to go into politics, and I'm sure we're going to know where they stand on the VP stake, and uh, there's a collaboration in the making, and all that good stuff will be coming on today. So
Yeah.
let's get right and let our people tune in.
Thank you for that. Ray Martin, it's good to see you. You sound like you have a little cold. Your voice sounds a little under the
Well,
weather. Is it me
a
or just
little bit. I think maybe it's my mic. I think I've beaten it somewhat. I was up on I was on the
Oh,
treadmill for about 5 miles today, which is good. I started back my workout. I'm grateful to God
great.
for that, and I'm grateful for the opportunity to be here. Thank you for having me.
Mhm.
Maybe what
Reverend
you're
Martin,
hearing was right. Not since you said that, huh?
you, you said 5 miles? You did on treadmill?
Well, 5 miles is easy for me. 5 miles is easy. I normally do 10 miles on the treadmill, but I didn't have time.
You
I'm
serious?
preparing to go to a funeral today, a wake, and then a funeral tomorrow. So I'll be spending the night away from here. I'll be driving down Drew and I to Newark
Now,
for the Anderson's mother's funeral.
now I know your secret. Now I know your secret. That's
Now
why
you
you
know my
do
secret? That's my
it.
secret to
Why you
youth.
look young and strong. Wow.
Well, listen,
I
I'm
got.
glad to be here, and thank you for the invite. Peabody talked to me about, just speaking a little bit today about fast and prayer, and I'm grateful for that because I like to stick on that, especially when it comes to a national concern. And so, thank you for having me on this particular day. I am a little obfuscated when it comes to what's going on right now with the parties, so I will be listening in on as much as I can to put my 2 cents in. But most of all, thank you again for the opportunity to be here. And I'm grateful. And I want to say, on behalf of the Early Morning Prayer, the fastest growing prayer podcast, we're very grateful for the opportunity. And thank you because we're doing great work in our country. I want to give a shout out, if I may, to Floyd there in Saniquili Ganta, the business guy. He is the chairman of the board of trustees of Levi H. Martin Baptist High School. And I made a commitment to him that we'll bring technology to the school. So yesterday he called me. He said, "What's going on, man? I don't." But I'm grateful that now we have enough money to buy all the computers, all the projectors, and I'm grateful. And I want to just give a shout out to Henry Costa, if you guys don't mind. He gave me 10 desktops for the computer lab and 2 printers. All of this is going to be taken up, and I'm grateful to God. And all of this come through prayer and fasting, by the way. Amen. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Amen. Thank you, Ray
Amen.
Martin. And it's good. And shout out to Henry Costa for doing that. I see he share your show, your podcast a lot. So I definitely see that he's a strong supporter of your podcast. We want to thank you for all you do, and continue to give God the glory for what you continue to do for our people and providing that spiritual balance, is very important. A
Amen.
lot of people
Amen.
sometimes take a chance. Sometimes people take these things for granted, but it is very important that we,
And here you
we
are
continue.
pulling me into the politics every chance you get, huh?
Well, well, God was a politician, or God is a politician. Jesus was a politician. I keep saying all
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm glad you brought that up. A lot of people aren't even aware that one of the first coups in the Old Testament, in fact,
that.
is orchestrated by God Himself. Saul is
Wow.
king. When God
Yeah.
when God sent the prophet to the house of Jesse to find another king to replace Saul while Saul is king. God created a coup. He
Wow.
set it up. In fact, the prophet was afraid to even go there and do what God said, don't worry, I'll take care of you. So God is amidst and in the midst of our political arena. He is. He is.
Yeah. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Want to send a shout out to Hot FM. Want to send a shout out to all of the radio stations that are relaying us. Puma FM, Hot FM. I know Hot FM Nimba, Hot FM Banga. I'm looking
Wow.
at the list here. There's a bunch of radio stations, 36 radio stations across the country. Community radio stations are carrying us live. Want to thank the Hot FM network for doing that. And we're going to continue to grow. We've been getting a lot of outreach from folks. I'm not sure if Truth FM will be relaying this today. I know when I spoke with Chairman Billiter, he said they were going to be relaying it. So hopefully they are going to be relaying it. If they're not, that's the cue, Chairman Billiter. We call your people and tell them to start relaying our show before you come on. But we will be having the chairman on very soon, very, very soon. We just want Tomalin and the rest of the guys to join us. Like I said, it's going to be a fascinating conversation. We're going to be discussing politics. We're going to be discussing. There's a lot that is going on within our political space. Recently, there was a protest, not a protest, but like a petition from a group calling itself the Opposition Solidarity Task Force, headed by Senator John Balut, calling for Vice President Joe Buckeye and Mr. Cummings to come together on one ticket. We're going to be talking about that with the chairperson of the CPP to find out what the situation is. Obviously, this is the rundown, as you can see on your screen. We're going to be talking about the Liberty Party Supreme Court case. Clearly, the full bench upheld the decision of the associate justice, and then we're going to be discussing the possibility of what is this talk of opposition unity. What does opposition unity means? We're going to listen to Chairman Billiter from the CPP's perspective, because let's not forget the CPP was put together for opposition unity, and then there was a split, there was a breakup. So we're going to be talking to Chairman Billiter about that. We're also going to be chiming in on national issues. The president signed the budget. He signed the national budget. There's going to be a bunch of discussions around that. What is the position of the CPP when it comes to the issue of the national budget? And then we want to round up with the VP picks. We've promised on this show that as long as the opposition candidates have not made their VP picks, we are going to continue to discuss it. There are a lot of moving parts. There's some news floating around today also about the potential VP picks. We're going to be trying to get Chairman Billiter's position on that. And then obviously we're all going to be doing our closing argument. We'll give everybody a chance to kind of dive into what they have listened to. And then hopefully we'll be able to get the chairman's closing argument also. And then we'll try to include some fun in it and try to get him. So, Mr. Chairman, if you're listening, you can start getting ready to come on. I'm not sure what's going on with Tomalin and the rest of the guys in Monrovia. And I think Peabody is also running a little late. Hopefully they will be joining us very soon. But we want the chairman just texted me that when he's ready. Oh, there goes Dr. Peabody. Sorry, I was ready to throw him under the bus. Doc, it's good to see you. Yeah,
Good to see
but
you too,
yeah,
brother.
guys, the chairman will be joining us very soon. I just got a text message from him. He's going to be logging on. He's logging in from Saclope and Nimba County, which is a good thing. We're going to also be looking at some of the work that he's done there. He's running. By the way, he's running for representative in that district. So we're going to be looking forward to seeing what he's done so far his connection. But Dr. Peabody, chime in here. You just joined us. Give us an opening here.
Well, it's good to be here. It's very good to be back on the Closing Acumen. Always good to see Reverend Martin. Always good to see you, Reverend Martin, Keff, and
Good to
Ben.
see you
Good to
too,
see
my
you.
brother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. This today is fast and pray in Liberia, and it's good that Reverend Martin joined us. But I mean, talking about bringing the chairman on, I was in Liberia about 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks. I went as far as Saclapie. I drove around there and then went to surprise the chairman, but he was not there on my way back to Monrovia. But I see a lot going on in that area. I see a lot of work that he's doing in Saclapie, in that area, how that place have grown into a very big city, and so I'm looking forward to him coming and talking about what's going on. But it's a great weekend, and I'm just happy that we can come after weekend like this, and to have another more fascinating show. Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Peabody. We're going to be waiting for the chairman to join us very soon. Studio, once you see him in the crowd, there he is. There he is. The national chairman of the Liberty Party, the global chairman of the CPP, the CEO of CEOs. My friend, Musa and I go way back. I was national chair of the Liberty Party. I charged him with the responsibility to run my campaign in 2017. I think he did a fabulous job. I think we ran the best campaign in the country. We just didn't get the verdict of the Liberian people. But hey, we are where we are. Mr. Chairman, it's good to see you. It's good to see you. And welcome to the closing argument. This is your first appearance. We hope that this is not going to be the only appearance as we head into the elections. But I want to give you a chance to speak a few words, and then we'll get right into business. We will do a rundown again, so you get a chance to know what we're going to be discussing with you. But you see, Dr. Peabody, Reverend Martin, Keff Hassan, Jackie Mccay will be joining us very soon, and Tomalin George hopefully will be joining us from Monrovia. But Mr. Chairman, it's good to see you and welcome.
Wow, 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 wow. What a familiar territory. I, I, Damn, this is like a purgatory for me. All the bad guys have shown up in one location. Right, Martin? It's so good to be
Yes.
on the scene. Once again, on the scene, space with you. You're such a great man. You
Well,
we
Musa,
miss
it's
you.
a pleasure. It's a
We miss
pleasure
your
being
voice.
here, and
We miss your thinking, and hey, uh, I think that's why it is the closing argument. Um, that I have to say in this public manner, I'm sincerely sorry, but it gives you an idea of what we are doing on the ground here. It's a battle every day. We are on the front. I mean, it hurt me that you came all the way to Secretary, and you just missed me by inches. I'm so sorry. But you know what?
I know.
I know that
Yeah,
you
but
register. I know you register. So hey, we're gonna rock and roll, in this election time. So I have no doubt about that. The chairman is coming down, so he's gonna be coming down to Nimba County, District 7.
Definitely.
His property that are here, he's gonna come and view them, and then he will finish the register. And
Yeah, yeah.
I'm waiting to
Many people
see
don't
Kev.
know. Yeah.
No, no, no. I mean, you have your stuff here, Ben, so that one is not a problem. But honestly, I'm happy to see Kev. My real joy tonight is to see my man Kev.
You
Kev, I
miss me,
missed
eh?
you,
You
man.
miss
I
me.
miss you. I miss the
But
guy.
since you're talking about that, we saw you, I think a day or two ago, in our former territory, and it was an interesting
Yeah,
interview you did. Very interesting interview,
yeah,
and
yeah.
I like, I like to rub salt in the wounds here and there. But there's something you did toward the end of that show that I was extremely shocked, right? But no, shock is not the word. I wasn't shocked because I know you. You know how to throw a punch, and you know when to throw a punch, right? But I think, and having said that, there's been a lot of conspiracy theories going around. There's been a lot of lies going around when it comes to you. I can say when it comes to me, there's all these different talking points, and everybody thinking they know what they don't know, right? But I felt I saw what I saw that you did. I felt it was important, and I feel sometimes people have a tendency to tarnish people's reputation, and we live in a society where people take something
Hmm.
and they just run with it. But I don't know if you want to talk about it. But I felt that it would not. When I saw it, I was like, "Oh my God, that is vintage Musa ability right there." And the way you did it and just logged off, I was like, "Oh my God, this guy is something." So I don't know, gentlemen. I'm sure
Eh,
Kev saw it.
you
He
know,
called me.
Ben, I rarely do that. I I have a very, very thick skin. You know, when people and I disagree politically and they use words for me, when they're ready to move on, we all move on together. I don't keep grudges. But when people, there's certain thing that we all as human we must speak against, and that is ingratitude. You know, I I
Hmm.
saw
Wow.
I saw I saw Fagon. I saw how Keff Hassan took care of him. I know it. I was aware of it. You know, I saw how, I have to say this. Nathaniel McGill, for instance, how he lived off Nathaniel McGill in Liberia. And I, like I said, the only time I ever met Fagon was in his office, and he saw me go into the minister's office and he called me. And when I got into his office, the only exchange between he and I was, he wanted me to help him with some money. And if you and I did it and I gave him the money. But if you gonna do that, if you're gonna try to tarnish people with lies, I mean, Ben, what am I doing to sit down with the president of the Republic of Liberia and Eugene Fagon and myself on the same table? How? So how did you reach to the point where you create these things in your head and you know guys, forgive me, I'm
No,
wasting your
no,
time,
good, good.
but it create these things in your head about people. But one of the most repugnant thing I realized about Fagon is how he took advantage of friends fighting, infighting between friends. I'm a friend of you guys. I'm a friend of Stanton. I'm a, I'm a, I can say Dr. Francine is my sister. If you guys are in crisis and are having problem, the best I could do at that point is to either talk to you individually to see how I can cool off the pressure. But this guy took advantage of that feud, inserted himself into the feud, and created a situation where he now bashed the very people that took care of him. And I say to those who
Hmm.
are taking care of him today to be careful that, Fagon did not start with George Weah. Fagon did not start. Everybody needs to know that Fagon was a propagandist of Benina Ure. He started with ALP, and then he went on. I mean, in a space of 5 years, he has gone full circle in the Liberian political arena. And I was hurt, particularly when it came to Kev Hassan. Honestly, because this guy took care of him, put up with him, and then he's going out there, and me and Fagon would not. And I told the folks at Spoon, I have respect for them. I will go on Spoon any day, any night to speak. on any issue. It's a great program. I respect them, but there's no way our Musa Hassan Belete will occupy the same space with Eugene Fagon. No way. It's
Hmm.
not going to happen because, Ben, in life, you got to reach a point where you respect people. So this guy, for me, he violated all of those, social norms that and then he goes on and call me double agent, call you agent one. I think he called somebody else agent two, agent. So what was he? Was he, an agent, or he was running the agency? Because to know all these agents, you have to be an agent, and you want to use my name to make yourself, and then all of a sudden now, his entry into the Unity Party. I will not talk about that, and the reason why I will not talk about that is because we're in election time now. I've
Hmm.
decided that I would never make any negative statement on any opposition member. We
Yeah.
are going to try to
Wow.
work together. And so I will not say anything about that. But I will be very careful if I go. I would not sit anyway. We are not at the same level in society anyway. So where
Yeah.
I'm sitting on the table, he doesn't belong there. That was the point I was trying to make. And I'm firm
Mr.
about that.
And listen, we respect your decision. Look, you know me. I tell people all the time, when you've been in this game as long as we have been, you tend to develop a thick skin. So
Yeah.
the space you occupy right now, I can speak from a position of strength because I did occupy that space. So I understand what it comes with. But I'm glad that you finally cleared the air and wanted to and said what you had to say. But let's get to the
Thank you.
business of what you hear.
Yeah, Ben.
Yeah.
And
Ben, yeah, right. I just want to say a little bit.
yeah, Kev, I beg you, 1 minute. I beg you, Chief Ugado. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
1 minute to talk about it. Musa, thank you for saying it because um, it's hurtful, it's painful to
Mm.
be there for some Reverend Martin. The morning
Yes.
that Eugene Fagon was fired, I looked him in the eyes. He looked at me, nowhere to go. And I said to him, as long as I live in this house, you, my brother, stay here. Don't pay no bills.
Mm.
I still remember in my living room, I was laying down in the chair because I love sometimes to just lay down in the living room. Sometimes I just sleep in the living room. He came down from upstairs and he explained to me. I said, don't worry about it. Stay here. You here. You remember when my son was sick? When I was in the hospital, Fagon was in my house alone. And one of the most hurtful thing again, he went on his podcast and told the world that I, Keff Hassan, live with his family. Where was my father? My father was working to lands and mines. We were in then I lived number 20 LMC compound in Bomi Hills. Matter of fact, in that compound we're living, Fagon and met us there. Then you let the people to believe that. How can you be that wicked? So wicked to lie. I had calls from my friends. They called me and say, we want to come, my bombing friends, and to attack this thing. Friends that I was in the first grade, second grade together. I say, you'll leave it. How can you lie and so wicked like that? Because
Okay.
the former CEO is paying your bills for you to attack the government and join the Unity Party and you sell your soul. Very much you're a reverend.
Okay.
How can somebody sell their soul? You know that's not
Yeah.
what you believe in the Unity Party, but because of the paying your house rent, the paying your bills, you're not working, then you tend to sit in the back. I'm not an ANC supporter, Ben. I'm not an ANC supporter.
Yeah, we got to
But
we got to move on now.
what happened in the back, the arrangement that happened in the back to attack Mr. Cummings, to attack people because of certain things. So then you put the face of some ANC people, then you turn them and start attacking, all in the name of paying your bills. That's the Liberia we want.
All right.
Come on.
It's okay. We're gonna move forward. We're gonna move forward. The chairman will soon be back. Let him come back so we can begin the show. Jackie, it's good to see you. We're already ooh, we're already 30 minutes in. We gotta get this show on the road. Mr. Chairman, it's good to see you. We have a rundown here where we're gonna be talking about the LP. Obviously, the full bench of the Supreme Court finally weighed in on the Liberty Party issue. As you can see up there, the Liberty Party, the Supreme Court LP issue. We want you to talk about that. We're going to talk about opposition unity, the new word that has, it's not a new word, but it's the renewed effort that everybody's talking about. What does opposition unity means to you? What is from the CPP's perspective? Then we're going to chime in on some national issues. Obviously, you are the chairperson of one of the biggest opposition parties and collaborations in the country. So we want to get your thoughts. And then we'll weigh in on the VP picks for your side and also some of the names that we are hearing from the Unity Party side. And then we'll get a chance to do a closing argument. So that's where we are. The chairman, let's talk about the Liberty Party thing. And we'll have everybody ask you a question or so each. Where are we, and if you can just give a brief overview of just a brief overview of what why are we where we are today, just for the listening public. And let me announce that Truth FM, Truth to His Word, is relaying this program right now. Truth FM is relaying this program. Hot FM and all of our other partner stations are relaying this program. So want to thank Truth FM for obviously the boss is here, so I can understand. But Mr. Chairman, go ahead and let's talk about the Liberty Party thing, and then we'll take it from there.
Yeah, okay. But you are just to let you know, you are also live in Nimba, Bon County, Grand Julia, Maryland. Truth FM Nimba is also carrying it, so you probably have the largest audience tonight.
Thank
Um,
you, thank you, and we look
um,
we look forward
uh,
to more collaboration.
Let me welcome my sister. Sorry, I didn't get the time to speak to you tonight. I've been following this show, and even though I don't think we know each other, and if we do, then my apology. But believe me, you are making some names for yourself. So thank you for this show.
Thank you and
The
welcome.
the thing. Thank you. The thing with the quote ban, I don't think it's something that everybody needs to. We all know what's the story. We went to convention. We had an election. I was the next day. I was inducted. 1 month later, I didn't even know because everything is experience. One month, uh, 1 month on, I didn't even know that you're supposed to submit the Constitution into NEC 10 days after your convention. So I didn't know. Uh, then I was informed by one of my vice chair that we are late NEC call today that we are yet to submit our new constitution. That was on the 26th of February. A month later, after our convention, we submitted a constitution, and all the noise about, you know, the legitimacy of my chairmanship, the right as a chairman to file in the Constitution. And so what happened at the Supreme Court on Wednesday was that the court actually did three things. One is the Liberty Party Constitution of 2015 authorized the chairman of the party to be the chief administrative officer. And therefore, the chairman of the party is the proper person to submit the constitution of the party to the election commission. And that matter was closed. As far as Liberia is concerned, there's no more question on the legitimacy of the constitution of the Liberty Party. The election commission closed that. The election commission also went on to say that you had a proper convention. You elected legitimate leaders, chairperson, executive committee, and any decision those people have taken and will take are legitimate, are valid, which means that our leadership has been validated and the decisions that we've taken since we took office are legitimate and valid. It went on to say that the election commission was wrong to try to open a case where someone alleges that a document was tampered with and say, at the end of the day, I'm not a court of law. You don't have any such authority, and you should not be the one to do that. So those are three things the court said, and it brought to finality the Liberty Party crisis. We do look forward to reconciliation, but most importantly, we look forward to rebuilding the party, refocusing the party, looking up to the future, and we're happy and glad that the CPP survived. This ruling was also central to the survival of the CPP because the court ruled that the executive committee of Liberty Party signed and authorized the Liberty Party joining the CPP. And so far as the court is concerned, the executive committee has now withdrawn the Liberty Party from the CPP. So therefore, the Liberty Party remains part and parcel of the CPP. So these are final rulings on this matter. It's not a human right issue, so you can't take it to ECOWAS. And so the issue has been resolved. The challenge we have now is how we go forward, how we try to build a party in the midst of election. I know it's going to be rocky, but we want to remain focused. We want to make sure that we rebuild the party. We want to make sure that we rebrand it, and we want to make sure that we try to bring as many people in the party as possible.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And I will go across around the horn. I will let Dr. Peabody start, and we will go to Jackie since she just joined, and then Keff, and then Reverend Martin, and then Keff will be last. So, Dr. Peabody, you want to go ahead and ask your first question? I'm not going to ask any question on this because I've been a focal point in all of this, so I don't need to ask questions. So, let me give you guys the chance to go ahead and exhaust on this issue. Go ahead, Dr. Peabody.
Billy, always good to see you again. Even though
Thank
your
you.
has
Thank you.
increased, your fund has increased for not being encyclopedia. But you did a wonderful job. I
I
saw
know,
the
I
most
know.
ability.
I owe you, man. I owe you, man. I'm
I saw
sorry,
the most
man. I'm
ability
really sorry.
foundation. Your foundation. I
Yes.
saw all of that and the wonderful job that you are doing encyclopedia. Well, let's go back to your
Thank you.
party. With the Supreme Court ruling at this time, how do you plan to go about reconciling your party?
Um, it's a tough question you ask. Reconciliation, it's a two-way street. Everybody has to be in a position to do that, and we all have to accept. I had said publicly that if we were going to lose this case, I was going to step aside, and then I was still going to remain a member of the party, but I was going to step aside because at that point the issue was I would probably not fit to be the chairperson. One of the things that we want to do right now is to consolidate the party, our basis. We had not reached out to our people. We had not put any mechanism to reach our people because we were you know, brought into this conflict for two years. We've never had peace since we took over this party. And thankfully, we have a decision that is very clear, unambiguous, and therefore uh, we believe that this is a way to go. However, we will reach out to everybody. We'll reach out to all of the people, our adversaries in this particular case. Before the ruling, we were already talking. Emotions are high right now, so we have to give that emotions a chance to simmer down, and thereafter we'll pick the pieces and try to rebuild it. But one thing I know and I felt is that the partisans are happy. The partisans are very happy that peace is finally here and that the party, you know, is finally, in a position to move forward. And we will put in all of our time, our resources into making sure that the party, resuscitates and, as a pillar of the CPP, we will do our part. We'll uphold the Constitution. We will not compromise that. Uh, I think that is important to the survival of the party, but we'll do any and everything we can to bring about reconciliation.
Thank you. Jackie, you want to come in?
Yes. Once again, welcome, Chairman Billeted. My question for you is that, well, one in two folds. Reconciliation, I hear you talking about it. Is there anything in hindsight in your mind where you think, as chairman, that could have been done differently to avoid all this today? Because sometimes it's better to avoid things than to try to fix things. Secondly, if for any reason Senator Lawrence is selected as running mate to JNB, how will that affect the reconciliation process in the CPP?
Uh, Looking at everything that I did, I don't. All I tried to do in the last 2 years is to say, let's go by the constitution of the party. Where there was confusion as to what the constitution said, I said, let's reconvene the national convention so that uh, 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 they can tell us, since we are having issue with what they say, so that they can restate their position. So I think I did everything I could have done. And you know, the only thing I didn't do are the things that I would never do, like to quit, to resign, and so I wouldn't I would never do that. I'm not a quitter. So I would never quit. If the court had ruled against me, that would have been the end of the road as far as my chairmanship is concerned. Your second question, uh, if Ambassador Barker picks Yomley, I think that today we are talking about opposition unity. One of the things that we want to work on, and I'm sure we'll talk about that in the second round of this, is that we have to have a option A and option B. If uh, Ambassador Baga picks Yombly, then it closes the door for CPP or for any kind of coming Baga collaboration or CPP Unity Party collaboration. But what it opens the door on is for the opposition to try to, go back to the counter declaration, which was signed in 2017. Chairman Sanvee is aware of that. And that forces all of the opposition to stop, attacking each other, focus on the main opponent, which is the CDC, and also commits that if we go on the second round, whoever that makes it to the second round, we always support that person. So I don't see, any negative impact or of him of Ambassador Baga picking Yombly, because the United Party will not be a focus of the CPP campaign. So therefore, I think that we don't have a problem with it. The only thing we say, and we have said that, and in those messages that those will be done in a private capacity, not in the name of the Liberty Party.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Reverend Martin, please.
Wow. Musa, it's good to see you. It's been a while.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad to see you this evening, and I thank God that all is well on this fast and prayer day. I hope you had a moment of praying and fasting yourself. I see you drinking a lot of
Yes, I'm
water.
fasting. Yeah, I'm
Okay, great,
fasting. I'm,
great,
I'm
great,
actually
great.
just I'm breaking my
Okay,
fast while I'm on the.
all right, great. Well, my sister asked an important question. I think she asked, "What would you do differently if you look back retrospectively? What is it that you could have done differently?" You said earlier when you first came on, there were things you were not cognizant of, you were not aware of, and because of that, being a novice, you did not file the document in time with NEC. Was that right?
Uh, just thinking about it, that's probably
Mhm.
was also to show that we were not in a rush to file the document, and it was also to show that if there was any issue with the document, because for instance, during the conflict, our opponent said that we filed the document and we were not the one to have filed the document because we should have first been introduced by the outgoing leadership. That was the argument. But if that was the case and that was the procedure, they had a whole month. That's the only point I'm trying to make. There was 30 days where nobody did anything. But the truth of the matter is that we all knew the political leader, uh, that was our first time conducting a national convention. Uh, it was my first time to ever become a party chairman. So we all didn't know. So tomorrow, if we, by the way,
So,
the party is having a
there were
convention
procedures,
on the
excuse me, Musa, there were procedures in writing that becoming the chair, you should have been able to have read and acted upon. Wouldn't you agree?
correct. I that was my first misstep. What
Okay,
I'm
that's
saying
what I was
is
trying
that
to get from you. That's why she
yeah,
said, "What could you have done
but
differently?"
yes, but what I'm saying, that misstep actually was an opportunity for somebody to have done what they were arguing should have been done. The argument was when we left Banga, I shouldn't have gone to NEC. I should have been first introduced to NEC. And there was sufficient time, which is my delay, that they could have done what they're saying that they didn't do, and I just went by myself. But there's no law, not from NEC. NEC said 10 days. I believe we should have submitted in 10 days. We did not. And you're right. I mean, on hindsight, we're going to convention on the on the 12th of May. Uh, uh, I will make sure that, as soon as we come from convention, if we amend our constitution, we will definitely file, as per election commission regulation.
You sign of
Thank
a
you.
good leader, you can look, reflect, and say, you know what, good. Maybe I've made a blunder here, and that's okay. That's okay. You said you were a novice and you learned from it. My thing here, Musa, your party and the other opposing party, all of you do not like the trajectory of where our nation is going. Musa, you're in the dark. I need you in the light. Amen. We you and the other party, the opposition party, do not like the trajectory of our country under the current leadership. Because of that, you guys want to run. Now, you guys, the same guys who've run in the past, this incumbent, right? And having that come together, coming as an amalgamation of parties, you've lost. Many people today are saying, why don't Cummings and Boycott come together as a cohesive unit so that the mistakes of yesterday will not be repeated again in another election? What do you say to that?
I agree. I am in full agreement. I mean, my position, the CPP position has been, let's stop all of this talking. Enough of the talking. The CPP did, through the standard bearer, did make did did presented a proposition, which was Ambassador Boaga, lift Mr. Cummings' hands up, give him a vice president, and then we you support us, we go. We want at this time for the Unity Party to come back and either tell us we agree with you or no, 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 no. Mr. Cummings,
Hmm.
I think you and Mr. Ambassador Boaga should run. If that is our
Mm-hmm.
position, that means we have two positions, right? We'll go on the table. I believe that when we go on the table and sit in the room, we'll come out with a decision that Liberian people will like. But the
Really?
talking and the different talking is no longer relevant. What is important here is what is the Unity Party proposition to the CPP? The CPP has made a proposition. The Unity Party should come back with a proposition. And that proposition will help us to say, here we are. Mr. Cummings is saying that, Mr. Barker is saying that. We bring some elders in the room and we'll come up with a decision that Liberia will benefit from. But the talking right now, everybody who wants the opposition to be together should not be coming to the CPP. The CPP has made it very clear that it is for it. It is prepared for the talk. It is willing to go and sit down to come up with a result that will help the opposition to sit together. What more can we do? I mean, what people want us to do now? All we want now is to get a call from the UP or all these intermediaries and say, okay, let's go sit down. Let Ambassador Barker and Mr. Cummings sit down. I am confident that if they sit down on the table with Liberia, the central point, they'll come over. We will not, the CPP will not be an obstacle to opposition unity. And look, why do you think we are in the CPP? There has been every attempt to break the CPP up. The fact that we never left, we're in it, it means that we believe in the mission and the vision that is the CPP. So let the Unity Party come back, join us. Look, at this point in time, whatever we have to do as a compromise to put all over to do a point, you don't expect us to do anymore. Look, there are individuals in the Unity Party today that were under the impression that they have an agreement for Ambassador Barker to pick them. Maybe there was no such agreement. You want us to fall in that line? You come to us to say Mr. Cumming will be Mr. Parker a running mate, and then we say, oh yeah, yeah, that's good for Liberia. Then before you go to Mr. Parker and say, please accept Mr. Cumming, what kind of idea is that? That's putting the cart before the horse. Get everybody to take a position and then find a common position for the opposition. We as Liberians are not being fair, and that includes every one of us, even the six of you on this or the five of you here. The onus is on the United Party, not us. We are not the
So,
one that are saying the opposition must not unite.
so Mr. Chairman, let me and careful come in right there, and we can go straight into the conversation now about, and I'm glad, Reverend Martin, glad that you brought that up. And
Hmm.
we go straight to the conversation now about the opposition unity, right? I think we dealt with the Liberty Party
Yeah.
issue is sufficiently dealt with. You are saying, Mr. Chairman, and let's reiterate what you just said, and I think this is important. Um, Many people, and from my thought process, have tried to paint this picture of, and this is my opinion, by the way, right? This is my opinion. There's this picture that has been attempted to be, they've attempted to paint this picture of Cummings not wanting
Hmm.
to be on a unity ticket or a united front of the opposition, all of those things. There's been an attempt to do that. What I'm hearing you say, and I think it's very profound tonight, that the
Hmm.
CPP, the CPP has a proposal on the table to the Unity Party. And I think it's only
Yes,
fair that the Unity Party counters that proposal by coming and say, listen, okay, we hear your proposal, but this is our proposal, and your recommendation and your proposition and the CPP's position is, then we can sit down on the table and talk. And if that leads to a Unity ticket, then so be it. Is
Mm.
that what we're here to say tonight?
yes. That's what I'm saying to you. That's what I'm saying
Wow.
to
So
you.
the
And Ben,
yeah,
huh?
go ahead.
And Ben, at this point in time, we need to be very clear. We the noise about opposition unity, we have to be clear on who is acting and who is not acting. Honestly, at this time, the burden should not be on the CPP. We have stated clearly that we're for it, that we will sit on the table to discuss it and we'll come on. And secondly, we do have option A and option B, all in favor of opposition unity. Let's say
Mhm.
tomorrow Ambassador Baga picks a running mate. That only closes the door for option A. It does not close the door for opposition unity. Option B would then be that you come on the table and sit down and be courteous and have an MOU that will say, let's not attack each other. Let's not be negative towards it. Let's go and run a campaign. Let's show our platform to Liberian people. And whoever makes it with, I mean, to go on the second round with Mr. Weir, let's commit that we always support that person. That is option B. The problem is if you don't have these agreements and you go to an election and bruise each other up, and after bruising each other up, then you want come now in the second round and come and ask the man for support. You will not get it. Ben, I don't mean to belabor this issue, but you know the story of 2017. You know, when we were in cold, we wanted opposition to join us to come with a united, but it never happened. The result was the court made a decision, and we all, had to go by that decision. So here we are again. We have a second chance. Uh, I think we should take advantage of it. We are not, you know, we're not against it. We're not against anybody uh, being picked by anybody. I think all of the people that are being named as possible running mate to Ambassador Baka, they all they're all capable, they're all qualified, and they all can do the work. You know, you in Yombly, you have the woman factor, you have the several other things, including the Basa belt factor, uh, and then you have in Kun, you cannot erase the Nimba factor, which is a massive factor. Nimba is spread all over, just like Basa, all over the country, in Maserado, in Magibi, in the southeast. And in Nimba, you have that factor. In Costa, hey, you can say whatever you want to say, but he has a massive following among the young people, vibrant, and his pick will give rise to young people believing, and he can, he's a fighter. He can fight when the election result into crisis. He can fight for his presidential candidate. He will walk. He will do anything he wants to do to get whatever he wants. So those three people, any one of them can be Ambassador Barker's running mate. We are not against that. Our position is that once that choice is made, and then we will remove the possibility of sorry, I think we're switching the light. The We'll remove the possibility of how you call it. We'll remove the possibility of a coming Baka ticket, and once we remove that possibility, then we now go to phase two of opposition unity, which is we stay together, we respect each other, we campaign. Look, there are a lot of things that we can do beyond the presidential tickets. We can look at the representative tickets. There are six major counties: Monserrado, Magibi, Basa, Bon, Nimba, and Lofa. We can say maybe we should split this up so that the senatorial seat in those things there, we don't oppose each other there. There are rooms for putting the representative. Not all of them may not be possible, but where it is possible to carry one ticket, we should encourage that and do it. That reduces the burden on the opposition. We should talk about how we can merge our poll watching. One of the most expensive aspect of election is poll watching. How we can put our resources together to make sure that we have a robust poll watching system. So, you know, it's always not just about a burger coming ticket. That's option one. We are for it. If we sit down and we agree on it, if the two leaders say yes, we will follow and we will support it. If it doesn't work, there are other options. But the opposition should
Thank you.
not just sit down and go into this election, and then second round, you go there and then you look behind you and say, please join me. It's not going to happen. Take it from me.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. You seem to be making Kev very nervous tonight. So let me go to him. What I'm hearing you saying here, you're making Kev really, really, really nervous. So let me go to Kev, and Kev, you can go ahead and ask the chairman your question, because I mean, what I'm hearing from the chairman here is that they're waiting for a call from the Unity Party. The ball is in the Unity Party court. And by the way, Mr. Chairman, I'll tell you this. I think this is. I listen. This is a
That's
breaking news
terrific
by
news.
itself. But go ahead, Kev Hassan. Go ahead.
Then nobody has been listening. Well, we said this all the time. From the time,
You know,
maybe because you didn't see me as a full chairman, so you were not listening to me. But I've said this.
Go
you
ahead.
see, last year, February was when we went to Liberia. I took upon myself. We went to the courthouse just to witness what happened in the courthouse. And it happened when I get to walk in the courthouse. There was no sitting place. The Judge Jomo
Kev,
Jala has
Kev,
said
please,
that
please,
it is.
Kev, please give me 1 minute. I beg you. Give me 1 minute.
Okay. Okay, let me
Let
hold on.
me let me hear 1 minute. Because listen, but Jackie, what before the chairman, if you Kev can't hear a question, I want to hear from you. You are a member of the Unity Party. You support Vice President Joe Buckeye. If Vice President Buckeye wants to be president, right? Why can't he pick up the phone and call Mr. Cummings and say, "I want you to be
Well,
my
can you
vice
do
president"?
what?
I said, if Vice President Buckeye wants Cummings to be his vice president, why hasn't he picked up the phone to call Mr. Cummings? Because I think that's the only way Mr. Cummings can be vice president. If he would be vice president, he got to agree, right? But in order for him to agree, he needs to get that call. You can't agree to something that somebody asked you to do.
That's a good question. I know publicly everybody has Vice President Ambassador Boyka has not made that call to Mr. Cummings. These two people have been friends for a long time. I'm not sure what they have discussed in private, so I cannot really go into details or talk much about that because they have had private discussions. And I'm not sure what those private discussions have been about. What I do know, Mr. Cummings have been saying publicly over and over and over again that he will in under no circumstance be a running mate to Ambassador Boycott. So that's what I do know. What was ever
So
discussed in private, none of us know. But we do
so
know
let's
what has been happening out in the
so
public.
thank you.
No,
So
no,
let Kev
no,
come in.
no, no,
So
no.
let Kev come in
Yeah, yeah,
quickly.
yeah. But,
But I
but,
just
but
want to state
I
for
need
the
to.
record.
Musa got something to say to this.
Ben,
So.
Oh, Musa, go
I
ahead.
want to
Sorry, go
correct.
ahead.
I want to
Go ahead.
correct Jackie for the record. Mr.
Uh-huh.
Cummings has said that he is not in this race to be a vice president to anybody. Mr.
Mm-hmm.
Cummings has said that he came to run to be president, not as vice president. I think
Mm-hmm.
that statement is not to say that I would not be vice president to Mr. Boaka. There are two things. Mr. Cummings got into the CPP, know that the outcome of CPP can go against him, which means his ambition of becoming a president could have been put to bed if the
True.
majority of the parties had voted against, and you were prepared for that. That has nothing to do with the fact that his goal, his mission, his reason for coming into the political space is to run for president. So I just wanted to make, because you sounded like uh, you are being told, Mr. Bwaka, if Mr. Bwaka asks you, and then his answer will be no. No, that conversation has not happened, and Mr. Cumming has not given a what do I say, an answer to some kind of futuristic question, as far as
Thank,
that is concerned. And I think that is two things.
I would like to throw something back at you, Chairman. People
Yes,
Kev,
ma'am.
please let
around,
Jackie do that.
It's hard to survive in the
around,
opposition. Hey, man, I run away
Kev,
from one. I
let
can't
Jackie
get
do that,
another
man.
one.
Hey, man.
Hey, God.
Kev, I beg you. I
It's
beg you. You will get
all
2 minutes.
opposition.
We'll get you more minutes, Kev. I beg you. Let
Go
Jackie
ahead,
come
Jackie.
in,
Go
please.
ahead. Go ahead, Jackie. Go ahead.
Yeah, he say
so
how to survive on opposition show. What they got? They Kev guys. Go ahead.
Kev, join us. People around, people around both candidates. So I'm throwing this right back in your seat, Chairman Ability. You are the chairman for the CPP. Has there anything that has been done or any considerations or discussions been made to say, okay, let's see how we can bring these two gentlemen, these two candidates together on one ticket? What effort has been made on your part? because, like you said, the CPP, all of them were together at one point. And I'm going to throw this other question out there because it's out there. It's been discussed in the media, in chat rooms, on everywhere for the past 2 years. In 2017, the second round, you supported the election of Senate back then Senator Weah, who is now president. Today, there are many who still believe that you are close friends to President Weah, and perhaps that somehow you still support his that today that you may support his re-election. Is I think it's important for you, and you probably have before on different media outlets clarify the air. Can you clarify the air today? Because there are those who believe that you are still a supporter for President Weah and now support his re-election.
Okay, so the first question is actually more important, so I will try to answer that. Um, Look, if Mr. Cumming, if the Unity Party, if Mr. Boyka, the Liberian Constitution, and the Constitution of every political party, it's very deliberate in saying that the president has the exclusive right to choose his running mate or her running mate.
Mm-hmm.
I have never seen any politics where someone who wants to be a running mate is the one who pushing to be a running mate. That doesn't make sense to me, and I'm not going to be part of that politics. Ambassador Bwaka is the one who says he wants to be president of this country, and if he finds it necessary and fit to say he wants to ask Mr. Cumming to be his running mate, that decision is exclusively his. He can call Mr. Cumming, he can go to actually he should be the one to beg Mr. Cumming to be his running mate. If Mr. Cummings says no, or if the reasoning say no, this is where you come to us now as the people around Mr. Cummings to say, what role are you playing? Now that Mr. Cummings, Mr. Baga has made a counter proposal to Mr. Cummings, and Mr. Cummings said no, what role are you playing? If there are people out there who believe that the CPP will go to Unity Party to push the issue of our standard bearer becoming vice standard bearer for Unity Party, then forget it. It's not going to happen. At the end of the day, there's something they call respect, and there's something they call dignity. If you, the opinion leaders, you, the journalists, you, the pundits, continue to make this thing to look like at this point it's a dual responsibility, then you are being unfair to the Liberian people. At this point in time, the CPP and Mr. Cumming had made their position clear. The United Party has not made any position. That step that we have taken, we would not take one more step until the United Party takes that step that we took and come one step closer to us. Then we will together look for the third and final step. That's how I see it. So at this point in time, as chairman of the CPP, you don't expect me to go to Unity Party to go beg them to say, your plea go ask. I will not do that. I'm sorry. He has been, he's our standard bearer. He's running for president. There are people everywhere calling for opposition unity. We have told the people that we're ready for it. When they are ready for the discussion, we will go into the discussion. But anything otherwise is simply not to be considered. Let's be fair. And this is the problem with our country. Where are we coming from now? Trying to put any burden on the CPP and Mr. Comey. There's no burden on us. We have absolutely no burden. And we're not going to put any burden on ourselves. We made our position clear. The guys went yesterday to receive to get the petition. We actually had Mr. Comey said they were coming 1. They never show up until 3 o'clock. So he had other meetings, he left. I mean, he didn't even come because we had in queue to come. He waited until 2:30. We said, well, you can go. I will wait for them to come. And I waited for them to come. What can we do? What more can we do? There's nothing else we can do. On the issue of me supporting George Weah, look, I'm sorry, Jackie. I have no more energy to clarify this. Ben Sanvee was chairman of the Liberty Party. The Liberty Party was a signatory to an agreement that the opposition signed in Ganta, and that agreement said any member of the opposition that goes to second round, everybody should support that agreement. And that agreement said that the opposition must fight against the third term of the Unity Party. That's why I supported. And I refuse for people to make me to feel that the only way I can show opposition to somebody is to insult them, abuse them. That's not me. That's not how I was raised. I was raised from a very conservative family. I can disagree with people respectfully. That is the reason why, in spite of the conflict in the Liberty Party, in spite of the conflict in the opposition party, there is no opposition person that cannot talk to me. There was, as early as last week Tuesday, I spoke to Ambassador Baga. We met at the family document. We talked for like 2 minutes, held my hand, we talked some personal stuff. As early as Monday, I communicated with Yombly. The week before, I communicated several times with Dylan. Nobody will take that character from me, and so they can go ahead and say what they want to say. I think about this every day and say, what kind of Liberia do we want? Why are you calling me a judge? I'm an independent person. I live my own life. I make my own money. Am I forced to be in the opposition if I don't want to be? Am I? Are the other Liberians that are supporting CDC now, are they in hell? Or they are not part of us? They are not Liberians? Are the people who supporting George Weah belong to hell to the extent that none of us should speak to them when we know that in the dark, everybody speak to them? I don't know how to do that. I've known George Weah for over 20 years. This is the George Weah that I was sitting down in Ellen Jensen Salif kitchen cabinet. And I stood up to say, I support him for senator because right after the 2011 election, one of the compromises that we made to him was that there was a lot of violence, there was a lot of tension in the country, and I was sent to him to say, go and encourage him to run for senator. And then we will support him, then he can start from there. And I went and encouraged him, and he agreed. And at the last minute of time, people wanted to come to say, no, we cannot make George a senator. Let's support this. But I said, no, I don't get used. I've given my word to him. I'll support him. That's me. There is no political party in this Republic of Liberia today that will not open their door and roll red carpet for me if I give them a call right now and say, I'm coming to you to join you. There's nobody. I made the choice to be with Alexander Cummings. From the day I joined the CPP up to where I'm sitting down, unless somebody can show to me that, Mr. Ability, these actions of yours point to the fact that you are supporting Mr. Weah, I consider that allegation as gibberish. I don't respond to it anymore. I have no clarification to make. Those people who are accusing me are the very people who don't want opposition to unite. This is a man who has gone as early as yesterday, called for opposition unity. Last year before last, the very statements I'm making on the show tonight, I've made them. I've said, let's unite the opposition. I, as chairman of the party, the Liberty Party and the ANC were standing there to agree that Liberty Party will carry the vice presidential position. I opted out of it. I chose to come where I was born to run as representative, simply because I said I would never allow myself to be an obstacle to what the opposition can do. Look, whoever want to think so, they can go and jump in the sea. I'm where I am, they are where they are. I have absolutely no clarification to make.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Keff Hassan,
So
please.
can
We
I ask
have
my last part to that
no, no,
question,
no, no.
Ben?
You
It's
close
just
that.
a
You
yes
gotta
or
go
no.
there.
No, it's just a yes or no from Chairman Ability. Just to clear the air for the people who are listening. And it has to do with his answer. So if there is a second round and Mr. Cummings doesn't make it, and for example, JMB makes it against the incumbent, will the CPP rally around Ambassador Boycott? You as a
If they want
chairman,
it,
will you?
if if they want it, then let us go for option B now. The option B says, let's Baga pick his running mate from wherever he wants to. Cumming picks a
Mhm.
running mate from wherever he wants to. Let us run as opposition family. Let's make sure we don't insult each other, cause each other man while we are running against the CDC. And then when one of us make it to the runoff, we'll support that person. If that agreement is not signed, we cause each other man. We cause everything out of try to destroy each other. Second round, you're not gonna have nobody. Don't tell me say I didn't tell you.
Keff Hassan, please come in, please.
Uh, well, and before you guys, were coming in, I was trying to explain my time witnessing the court, uh, witnessing the case between uh, Buckeye and Cummings, the CPP case, and I went in there and I sat beside Mr. Cummings. Actually, Mr. Cummings was on, uh, you know, I don't know what that's the prisoner bench they call it, but I sat beside Mr. Cummings, and Nathan was there, and Mr. Ability was on uh, the other side. So and I witnessed the case, and Muali was on the stand, and I listened to the case, and they accused Mr. Cummings of criminality, and they decided to walk away and break away. They went all over the breakaway, and them they don't have the Unity Party and the other party ALP, and I will not say Liberty Party because Supreme Court rule, but some folks that were suspended in the Liberty Party joined them. And what those guys were saying, that they don't have anything in common with the ANC. Matter of fact, the ANC as standard bearer is a criminal. That's what they said. That we asked them the question. They called them names. They left. At this moment, I believe because the internal polls are telling them that they cannot make it, they don't have the numbers, they are coming back to the ANC. But this time, they're using the back door to push the ANC to come to the table for ANC to call. So you watch, they have the surrogate out there who just attacking Mr. Cummings, even recruiting the ANC in some of our former platform, attacking their own party in order to push the ANC to go and ask. And I listened to Chairman Ability saying, if you want it, you come ask. So I don't know where in the world that you left, then the party, the CPP that you left, then you telling that CPP to follow you again, to go to you. What sense does that make? You telling the ANC and say, oh no, and come to me again. They did that
So,
before.
Kev, what is
I
your
was one
question,
of the
though?
I was one of the person. I sat down easy, my dear. Can I get
Let
my
him go
day?
ahead, please.
Yeah,
Let give Kev the time. Yeah,
yeah.
give Kev the time. It's important,
My
please.
answer will come. I have to say that. They did that before. I was one of the person, Jackie, that called on Mr. Cummings. Do not join them. I said that. You know what the wall said? You know what Liberia, they came down on me hard and said, I was afraid of the collaboration. I said, no, hidden agenda, something there. You start to the black voting, some black voting and all that. Ability, you know, you all attack me. Ability, you attack me at that time. Oh, you don't want us. Ben attacked me. Oh, Dr. Peabody. Everybody attacked me. I said, they're coming for this man. And they did that. Now they want to come again. And Chairman Ability, you talk about it because I know when Biden wanted Kamala, he went after, he called. At this moment, are you guys, because let's say it will never happen. No, that will not happen. But I'm just saying this. Let's say you're joined in, you win. So again, what will happen to you again? They will play the same games they play to your on your again. Are you guys willing to take that risk? Will people who are not trustworthy, people who are witness in the courtroom? I was there. I was sitting beside Mr. Cummings. I was sitting beside Mr. Cummings. You, Miss Ability, were on my far right, was in the same bench. And I turned around, Mr. Cummings said, I had some discussion. Are you guys willing to take that risk with people who use you guys and want to use you guys again?
Thank you, Kev.
Kev, right now, what matters is not how I feel. I have I've gone through the worst anybody can go through. I've gone through defamation, character assassination, but Liberia is bigger than me. Everything Mr. Comey has gone through, as far as the CPP is concerned, is beyond us. So your talking will not make us to go and remember the negative things. Those negative things are behind us. We finished with it. We want the opposition to be one family. We want the opposition to have a roadmap. We believe that it is very important to have a roadmap. In the absence of a roadmap and their anger all around, 1 month, I want everybody to know the run-off period is only 1 month. You can't injure people for 2 years or 6 months or 1 year and expect to repair it in
In
1 month. If you want to make sure that you have a unification, it is now. I'm happy that these things are recorded. So tomorrow, when it happens, nobody will come on it. If we get together now and sit before the Liberian people, and I repeat, I don't believe that the end of the road for the opposition will be if Mr. Comey and Mr. Barker don't run on one ticket. If two of them run, there will be a second round in the election. One of them will work harder, or one of them will resonate more with Liberian people, and that person will make it with George Weah to the second round. If you don't lay the foundation, the basis for unification, and everything that needs to happen, if you don't do it, it doesn't happen in rush. I don't even believe it. And people, this is where Jackie, people look at me different. I don't. I have zero record as a human being on the political scene of saying one thing and doing the other. Zero. And I want anybody to prove me wrong. I said 2011, I supported Madam Salif. 2005, I supported Madam Salif. I supported Councillor Bronson in 2017. When we started this new phase of our journey, after talking to all of the candidates in the opposition, I believe that the best among all of the candidates was Alex Cummings. I've looked at him, I've reviewed him. I think he has a capacity to run the country. And so I sided with him. When I sided with him, I did not do it in secret like many people would do. I called the hierarchies of my party and say, I think that this is a man that I support. This is a man we should support. But however, let the party go through a process. And if that process picks him, fine. If it doesn't pick him, fine. Unfortunately, didn't get that opportunity. But that's who I am. If we sit down, I repeat, and don't come up, and there is no one in the United Party that I have not made a proposition to. The chairman, the secretary general, the former secretary general, the former chairman, executive committee members of the party, legislators of the parties. I've spoken to almost everyone in the United Party to say, you come, let's sit down and have an understanding of how we're going to do this opposition business. If people think that they're already in the second round and that the other people joining them is automatic, they daydream you. But if we sit down and draw a map, I think that when people want Mr. Barker and Alex coming to sit down and talk and come up with something that both of them will be supportive of and part of. If it is not possible, it doesn't mean that we should tear down the opposition. But nobody will tear me down. Nobody will try to destroy me. And then within 1 month, they will come tell me, say, I'm going to help them to get state power. It can't work like that. That is my solution. But Kev, we are forgiving everything that happened to us. It's beyond us. Even if you repeat it every night, we will not respond to it. Opposition unity is important. And what happened in the past, Mr. Comey, the fact that he goes to court, it's an experience. He wants to be president of Liberia. He got to face some mess, man. He didn't go to jail. Other people went to jail. Ellen Johnson said he went to jail. A lot of people, other people got killed. Back on Mafia, there, suffer, they got nothing. They want to suffer, they got nothing. So if you go sit down in a courthouse for 2 months, that's nothing. So Cummings is not going to take that now and say somebody has crucified you. No, it's behind us. So go find different story to divide the opposition. But I all want there, forget it. We're together. We're together, and nothing will spoil us.
Yeah, but Musa, how can they be in bed with a criminal? They call Mr. Cummings a criminal. They call him names. They insulted him. around town. They testify against him.
Okay, but let me see first thing,
And
Kev.
then they want to be in the same room. They want to be in bed with a man. It seems to me like the numbers are not adding up. So they think that Mr. Cummings can be used for the
So,
second time.
yeah, I'm
I,
not
I,
the number
I
thing.
think I
We
think
we
you
are
want
we
to
are
use.
aware.
I feel that the Unity Party are
Okay,
users. They want to use Mr. Cummings because they insult him. They
Kev,
call him names, and then
Kev, nice
now they
all
try,
right.
want him.
man. Nice try, Kev.
Okay, we're gonna, well, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Kev. We want to, first of all, I thought we had a very fascinating first half of the conversation. We will come back to dig deeper into the opposition unity thing, and then we can talk about the VP picks. We want to hear from the
Yes.
chairperson, we want to hear from the chairman, his thought process. What are they thinking? What is Mr. Cummings' thought process right now? When is he announcing his vice president? What are his thoughts on some of the names? It seems like they're looking and working out of the same pot. We want to know, is there a short list? We know you're not probably going to break some news here tonight, but feel free to break some if you want to. But it's important that we talk about this because, like we said, until these candidates pick the vice presidents, the vice, I mean, the vice standard bearers, we will continue to talk about this issue of who these VP picks are, and we want to get the chairman thoughts on. I think he laid the first basis on the on JMB's some of JMB picks. I want to dig a little deeper. I heard him say something very fascinating about Henry Costa. I mean, I know he and Henry Costa have had a rough patch in the past. So I was very shocked when I heard him speak very complimentary of Henry Costa. But again, it's Musa ability. You never know what you get with him. When you get in these political seasons, I fought along with him. I've been right on his side, and I know how kind of politician he is. But we want the studio to take. We're gonna take a 1 minute break. The chairman is breaking fast, as you can see. He's eating his little things here and there. So we want him to take a little. Let's give him a 1 minute or 1 minute 30-second break, and we'll be right back and jump right back into the conversation about opposition
Thank
unity
you.
and the VP pick. Wrap this thing up. All right. Thank you. The chairman will be back soon, guys. I thought it was fascinating first half. I don't know about you guys, but I thought a couple of news I thought he broke here tonight, Reverend Martin, and I want to get your thoughts on it while the chairman gets back, right? Um,
Yeah. Okay.
listen, look, and again, I'm a little biased here because he's the chair of my party, and I think he's probably one of the smartest people out there politically. But I think what Musa Belete did tonight was literally, it's almost like he's calling UP to her bluff, right? And I said this, and sometimes my UP friends, they get upset with me when I say this, right? I've never seen anybody campaign to be vice president. I've never seen that happen before, right? I've always seen people. Uh, 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 um, I've always seen people get picked for the vice presidency, but this notion that somebody's supposed to be sitting and waiting and campaigning and saying, "Oh, they won't be vice president to you." If you want somebody to be a vice president, you pick up the phone, you call them. You set up a vetting committee, you vet them, you have a short list. The committee reach out to them, they go through all they have to go through. When you make your decision, you pick up the phone, you call the people who were in that process, the ones who didn't make the cut. You pick up the phone, you call them, you say, "Look, thank you for your time. Thank you for allowing us to go through the process of vetting you. But unfortunately, we've decided to go another way." If you make a decision to pick Musa Belete, you pick up the phone, you call him, you say, like Joe Biden did live on TV when he made a decision for Kamala Harris. Everybody saw the video. He picked up the phone, he called her, and he said, "Are you ready to get to work?" And she said, "Let's get to work." So I wanted to, I think Ray Martin dropped off a few minutes ago, but before the chairman
I'm
comes
here.
in. But we can't see you. That's why. Okay, good.
No,
Ray
I'm right
Martin,
here.
what are your
Somebody dropped
Good.
me.
We can see you now. We can see you. We can see you. Ray
Don't be
Martin,
doing
what are
that to
your
other
thoughts on
people.
what? What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on what the chairman said? What are your thoughts on this though? That he believes that the onus is not on Ambassador Baka.
I've been listening to Musa quite keenly. And let me say this: some of the things he said tonight really lifted my spirit and my hope for the nation Liberia itself. And let me say this, contrary to what somebody has said, people call you this, people did this and did that. So what? I love this idea to think that both Boyka and Alexander Cummings are Christian, devout men of God. I believe this. And one of the things that the word of God says is, "Blessed are you when men shall revile you and persecute you and say all manner of evil against you falsely." It says, "Rejoice and be exceeding glad, for great is your reward in heaven." So they took Cummings to court. So what? He came out victorious. He came out strong. Musa said, "This is behind us. Let's move forward." If Liberia will move forward, there has to be an amalgamation of these two gentlemen. And I love what he said, and you reiterated that just now. You never see a vice president run into the man or the other man saying, "I won't be your vice president." You never go into a race to be second. So when Cummings says, my goal is to be president, that is his goal. That's how you go into the race. I never go into a game thinking that somebody's going to beat me. I go into a basketball game. I don't care who you are. I'm going to win. And that is what Cummings has said. And I understand that. But I think from what was divulged this evening from Musa, it puts hope on the table for the future of Liberia. It gives hope for that people, in spite of all the anger or whatever words have been said, they can come together and look at the bigger picture. One of the things I always focus on is begin with an end in mind. Begin with an end in mind. You have to make adjustments sometimes. And I think Cummings is in a good place. And I know that Boyka, as a man of God, is not a man who is pompous and proud. I believe one of the great attributes of a believer is humility. I believe that. And I believe if Boyka really want to be president that bad, hey, listen, man, I'll talk to Cummings. I said, "Cummings, I'm not inviting you over. Can I come over to your office, show you how serious I am? Can I meet with you? Can we talk? Can we talk?" And let me say this: if it ever comes to that place where you need a clergy in the room, y'all call Reverend Martin. I'll take the next flight, because this is my desire to see our people won. I want to be in the room if we
Thank
get
you.
to that point. You hear me, Musa?
Yes, and
Musa,
we'll
Thank
make
you,
can
sure
you
Ray
you
hear
are
me?
Martin.
here.
Okay.
Thank you so much. But Mr.
Yeah, that's
Chairman,
my
Mr.
B1.
Chairman, let's jump right into VP picks. The VP picks. Let's jump into the VP picks, and then we can bring opposition thing in the mix of
On,
it,
on,
because at the
on
same
on all the sides, right?
on all the sides, right? But I want to start specifically with with your thoughts on Henry Costa getting injected in this process. I am on the record, and I want to believe you. From what I heard you say before, you seem to be on the same page that I'm on, right? I'm on the record that, listen, I think it's disingenuous for people to discount or to say that Costa should not be considered to be vice president to Joe Barker. I think it's disingenuous. I think it's wrong. I think, first of all, let's state for the record that the decision is Vice President Borkai's to make. Costa is not going to get on a ticket if VP Boyka does not pick him, right? But for people to come to paint a picture like, oh, Costa doesn't even deserve to be in the conversation, I have a problem with that because
So do I.
and I know we do this a lot in our country where we stereotype people. And Liberia is the only country where somebody who is in their 40s is supposed to wait for their time, while you have other
Mm.
countries on the face of the earth, being governed by people in their 40s, right? So I want you to speak on that. This is not, Costa can defend himself. This is not a defense of Henry Costa. But I think it's important to hear, especially for somebody like you, who have been a victim of stereotyping, of people stereotyping you. What are your thoughts on this? And what do you think? What do you think gave rise to Costa name coming up in this in the VIP stakes? And then we'll go to to the coming side.
So, even though Costa is the first, but let me just say that the three, I mean, Costa is the question you asked me, but let me just state it for the record that the
Yeah.
three individual in line to be picked by Boaga
Three prospects. The three prospects.
have, yes, have specific qualities that are not found elsewhere. If he picks Yombly, she's a female, that abused a female vote, that appeals to the Bassa Belt, uh, and a lot more. If he picks Kun, it definitely put a foothold in Nimba, and all of Nimba is beyond Nimba County. Nimba is everywhere. So I don't know what the repercussion will be in other counties, but I don't know that it gives him mighty, 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 mighty big support in Nimba County. Uh, actually, of all the three candidates, a more concentrated vote, a more sure vote if he picks Kun. Let me come now to Costa. In my mind, if this is about going to war, which I think it is, if this is about going to fight, if this is about having kept Joseph Boakai as a factor, as much as most of Costa action was against me as a person, no one has fought for Joseph Boakai equal to Henry Costa.
Mm.
No one. He obviously has the capacity to arouse the youthful population, like in like Yeke. He definitely will fight for Boakai if something goes wrong. For instance, if we have issues in the election, he's one person that will stand up, he will speak. I mean, he will raise the voice of the campaign. He will raise. Uh, if you discount Costa, the Unity Party cannot that camp cannot run a campaign over Costa. And my problem, Ben, is that you take people, you say they are very good for you to use them for your benefit, but they are no good if you are to use them for their benefit, for the president's own benefit. I think that's wrong. And the people who are putting down Costa have nothing to say. It's we who are not part of Baka camp. We are the one who are angry with Costa. It cannot be UP people. That's unfair. If Costa be a running mate to Joseph Baga, and since we are all in a opposition, I'm one of those who would demand that he apologize to me. But it cannot be unity party people that will say that Costa. I think that's offensive, and I think one thing that people need to be careful of is that then you you kill people who want to fight for you. You kill their spirit because you make them to feel that they can fight no matter how they fight for you. When it's time to benefit from that fight, you will say they are not competent. This battle that the party is about to go in, they cannot go into Augusta. They will, it's not possible. So
Hmm.
I don't know how they're going to do it,
Mhm.
but he's a mighty big force. So like I said, there are three Kennedys. All of them come with that very specific strength. You pick Yombly, you have the potential of getting the women and the pastor people. You pick Kun, you probably from Kun you're gonna get the most vote. Definitely no question about that. We're going to battle. If you ready to fight, if you're gonna go into this battle, then you gotta think about Costa. So Omenbaga is wise. He has over 40 years of experience. He has worked with every one of these people. I think that he will make the decision that he believes is best for him. You know, but I think that the choice he makes, they compete with each other. You know,
Hmm.
obviously, he will decide what he wants to do. Depending on if, for instance, Barker say he's able to run this thing, he's popular, then you need a defender, which is Costa. But if you say he can't get the vote, then you need a Kun that will definitely give him the vote. So he has to make a decision on what he lacks, and once he decides on what he lacks, then he will be able to pick the truth. But yes, indeed, Costa is a good candidate. He gives hopes to the young people to believe that I don't even know why they call a 40-year-old man young. Now, only in Liberia, I hear that story. In Europe, almost all the leaders are in their 40s. But we are here calling young people. I mean, yesterday, somebody was calling me young. I'm over 50 years, and he's still calling me young. So, my brother, if you pass 28, you go to the 30, you're not young man anymore. Costa is over 40
Mm-hmm.
years. So that means face Kun is over 40 years. They're all men. All of these people, they work in the way that at the end of the day, we make a decision that matters to all of us. So that's
Thank
what
you,
I
Mr.
mean,
Chairman.
Chief.
Thank you. Everybody can go one question on this, and then I want also talk about Chairman Billett's district. He's doing amazing things in that district. I mean, this I will not. I don't think it would be fair to him if we're not able to talk about the work that he's doing in Cyclopedia. I mean, I saw some amazing pictures today. I think it's fair for the people to get a chance to see it and want to talk to him about his bid for the House of Representatives. Does he want to be speaker? Does he want to be deputy speaker? What is it? I mean, I know he got to get elected first, but what is his plan getting into the national legislature? What is he trying to do in the national legislature? So let's go our one questions on the VP picks, and then we'll go into the District 7 Nimba County conversation.
Well,
Oh,
let
we
me
can start
ask
with
you.
Reverend Martin. Oh, go ahead, Dr. Peabody. Go ahead. Then we'll go to Reverend
Let
Martin.
me ask you mobility. What would be mobility ideal form of government when it comes to what would be your idea if you were say, you know what, I will be well pleased. I'll go to bed and have a good sleep tonight. Who would you like to see on that ticket?
Look, I think all the opposition know that where we are now, given our economy, given our infrastructure, Cummings is the ideal person to lead this country. You may have your opinion, you may have it, but for the sake of Liberia, if you're talking about qualification, if you take out all the other things that really don't come into play when it comes to performance, my brother, he's unmatched.
Hmm.
Uh,
So,
so, Reverend Martin and Chairman
yeah,
Ability,
Brother
what
Michael,
Yes.
go ahead.
who compare himself with? That's what I think. That's what you were asking, right, Dr.
Yeah,
Peabody?
who you think? Who you like to see? Now you said you prefer Mr. Cummings and to be the leader of our country. Who do you think will make a good candidate for Mr. Cummings, and who do you think will make a good candidate for Mr. Parker? That's my question.
No, I will not get into who Mr. Baga will. I mean, the three people there, I have relationship with all of them, and I'm not, I give my view on their various qualities, and I think that's my view. But to say who he picks, I mean, numerically, I hope he picks someone that will give him. If we're going to go at each other, if we're not going to have one ticket, I hope he picks somebody that will not give him vote, so that we can beat them and go second round with we are. That would be my prayer. But at this
You,
point
you
in
know, I,
time, in the name of in the name of opposition unity, I cannot condemn or recommend. Every one of us right now trying to mend fences. And okay, Kun is my brother. He's from Nimba County. And by virtue of being from Nimba County, if there anything, he will be, on the list for me. Yombly and myself are in the same party. I will stand for her. I will wish her the best. And, I will hope and pray that she succeed. Aaron Costa is a shining example of what people can do, lift themselves, transform themselves into political icon. A lot of young people look up to him. And I say again, this election that we are going to, it requires robust people, hands-on fighters, people that will. Henry Costa does that, and he does that better than anybody else. So, hey, just keep me out of that whole UP thing. Let me focus on my yeah,
look,
yeah,
let me just
but
let
Reverend
me just
Martin,
piggyback. Yeah, let me piggyback on some things that Musa has been saying, and it's well known that Henry Costa is a very good friend of mine. You said earlier to this evening his platform is available to me, but one of the things I will not I like about what Musa said, given the three candidates, Henry has the ability to galvanize a multitude of people. He knows how to rally up the crowd. He knows how to fight relentlessly, tenaciously. He's like a dog. When he grabs a bone, he doesn't relent. Uh, uh, um, Yumbly, on the other hand, as a woman, the massive number of women we have in our nation, the role that women have played in our politics, that would be a shining star, given when you talk about the Basel belt. The last time we were here, I brought that up again, that if she's able to mobilize the Basel belt in a powerful way, that would bring a lot to the table. There she is. I talk about the fact that she knows how to bring people together. She is tenacious. She works relentlessly and hard, and she doesn't give up. And she has a massive following. And I'm saying women and men will follow this lady. uh Kuhn talk about the massive numbers in Nimba, but while I don't know much about him, I do know that the people of Nimba show up in bulk for voting, and that is powerful. And you need numbers to win. So that puts Boyka in a unique place, and I acquiesce again with Musa on the fact that Costa has been working assiduously, relentlessly, untiringly for Boyka, and I've seen them work together right here. I made visit with Boyka because of Costa in Pennsylvania, maybe 8, 9 months ago. He is hardworking. He is relentless. And you know what? I'm just watching, but I'm saying whatever the decision is, I want to be in the room.
So we're going to go to Jackie and then Kev.
Okay. I tried to listen in while I was off, just for a few minutes because I had to do some work in the background. Um, Let me say this with the VP picks. Only one person can occupy that position, and just because the presidential candidate will have to pick, of course, among those who are on the short list, and just because that presidential candidate, be it Phoebe Boyka, be it Mr. Cummings, or whosoever else is in the race to run for president and has a short list, it does not mean that if this person was not picked, that they still don't appreciate the other people who didn't make it, because only one person can occupy that seat at a time. So I'm sure that as the presidential candidates make their decision when it comes to the short list, they will also negotiate and work with the other people who, they're not going to pick who these. So I don't see the big deal. Yes, people in the on the field will be saying, okay, because people are advocating for their candidates to be picked. So yeah, sometimes jabs will be thrown out there. Like Chairman Ability said, we are now at a point where we should not be negative or insultive to one another, and I strongly support that. But in the end, I just want to say that just because one person is not picked doesn't mean that anything, that the relationship should change when it comes to the other people who are not picked. It's politics. People negotiate all the time. What is next? If I don't pick you, can we still work together? What is next? How can we work together? So that shouldn't change anything. In my opinion, it
Ben,
shouldn't change much.
can I
Yes,
just
go ahead, Chairman.
Go
pick
ahead.
up on what Jackie just said? Yeah, the point she made, Jackie, that is the leadership part of the whole process. That is on the candidate who is making the pick. You can either make a pick in a way that the people being considered antagonize each other, or you make it in a way that even before you make that pick, you get them in the same room and be nice to them and say, look, we are family. I need your commitment that if I pick any one of you, everybody will stay. I think that's very important. If you don't do
Right.
that, you don't expect them to do that for themselves. Because at the end of the day, and what we are hearing is that it's reached to a point where some people were told today you will be, and then tomorrow they've heard somewhere, oh, this person will not be. So then there's bad taste, bad blood. And then when the decision is made, somebody feels that I was betrayed, I was let down. So you want to be transparent, you want to set up a committee, you want to invite people, and you want to inform them that we have also invited these other people. And so that everybody is aware, you know. I I hope that is what is happening, but the picture we are getting from outside doesn't show that that's what's happening, and that there were the potential for a backlash, comes in, because hey, if someone had been told that they will be picked and somebody else is picked, that person will be disappointed, and I think
Thank you.
that's what's going on. That's what I feel about that.
Kev Hassan, I want you to
So can
comment, and then because I want her to. Then we're gonna
I
go to
have one
District
question
7.
for Chairman Ability? Can I ask that question? Because I made a comment. It's just
Go
a
ahead,
quick
go
Oh,
ahead,
okay.
question.
Go
sis.
ahead. Mhm.
Chairman Ability, there's rumors out there that the former political leader Charles Brown is being considered as well as a running mate to Mr. Cummings. Um, Would you care to comment about that?
Oh, we have a short list, and I'm not at liberty to disclose that short list. But we have men and women,
Okay.
young people, and adult,
So I'm gonna let me push him a
middle
little bit.
age.
Let me push him a little bit on that. So you're not at liberty to disclose the short list. Can you tell us kind of like what this short list looks like? You said men and women. What kind of are they? Are they elected officials? Are they the same? Some of the same people that are being considered by Ambassador Mccay? And then lastly, when is this decision going to be made? Is he waiting for? Is Mr. Cummings waiting for Joe Mccay before he makes his decision?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Um, we have our convention on the 13, 14 of May. We're pushing ourselves to make sure that we will announce the standard bearer will carry along with him a running mate at the convention in Kanta.
What time? What date? What date? You said May
The 13, 14 of May.
13, 14 of May. Okay. Okay. So he should have his running mate by that convention. He and the running mate will be going to the
Uh,
convention
uh,
together.
there is a 70% chance that that's our goal. That's what we want to do. I mean, we you got to leave small room for any delay in a decision. But the convention is final. The convention is going to be held on the 13th, and I think it's a deal that at that convention there's a running mate. To go. So we're working overnight to make a decision. It
Can
would
you
be it would be
uh,
nice because the UP has announced that they will announce theirs by the 25th. So it means that at the end of May, we will now begin to look for what kind of opposition unity we want to get, and then we put something behind us. We look forward to something else. So I
thank
can't
you.
say to you who is being considered, but we're considering all the best people that you can think of to make sure that Mr. Cummings, your vice president pick is also a reflection of what kind of leader you're gonna be. I hope we all know
True.
that
True.
because that's the president you say has the capacity, the ability to lead this country from day one if something happened to me. You make that
Okay.
choice for the Liberian people. So it's a reflection of the kind of leader you are, your quality, your decision making quality, and other things. So I think Mr. Cummings is spending a lot of time on this. So he'll come up fine. Don't worry about that. And when
Okay.
we pick
I,
our vice president, it will shake the ground. I can tell you that. That one I can tell you.
that was going to be my question, but let Kev come in, and maybe I would just ask quickly for Kev to come in. Let's see, cousin Jackie asked you. You didn't say if Charlene is Youngly being considered. Can you confirm is Youngly being considered? I mean, I'm just. I know you will not answer, but what the heck? Let me just ask.
Man, for me, the VP pick as chairman of the party, I cannot tell you who we are picking, but it's also
Hmm.
unfair to say who we are not looking at. We're
Okay,
looking at
good.
all the potential, picks, individual
So you
that
can
could be.
confirm that you're looking at Youngly. You can confirm that you're looking at Youngly.
And Charlene,
No,
can you
And Charlene.
I can,
are
And
they on the
I
Charlene.
cannot
list?
confirm. I cannot confirm or deny that we are
Not
looking
denied.
at any one that you have,
We
that you're
tried,
talking
Jackie.
about.
We tried. We tried, Jackie.
Look,
Kev Hassan, come
look,
in.
the two
Come in.
people, that you just named are all fit and capable of
Great
becoming vice
gentlemen.
president.
Yeah,
Any
Yeah, I
one of
agree.
them
Or
can be
is there going to be a surprise factor where everybody will be surprised? Because right now, if Senator Lawrence is
Jackie,
speak, the
I'm
public will
almost
not be
certain that
surprised.
Liberia,
The what?
Jackie,
What
I'm
did you
almost
say?
certain that Liberia, we have no capacity to give surprise in politics. It's not going to
Okay.
happen.
I know, right?
By the time you
Go
make
ahead, Kev Hassan. Kev Hassan, go ahead with your
everybody,
question.
I'm going to call Ben Sanvee. I say that my chairman, I'm going to let you know and he's my only confidant. He will call his only confidant. His confidant will call, and by that you
It
know,
will leak out. And then it will leak out.
yeah.
Go ahead,
That's a
Chairman.
top secret for everybody to keep. It's a top secret. Very top secret.
Yeah, that I've never like no secret yet. Don't forget it.
Yeah, you can't say everybody. Nobody can keep a secret. So,
Kev, go ahead with your
okay.
question. Go ahead, Kev.
Everything
Yeah,
leaks. Everything leaks.
Yeah.
Big
Chairman,
time.
Chairman Ability, I believe in the same thing. You believe in loyalty, and I believe that the Joe Buckeye, the only uh, loyal person I can say is Mr. Costa. We are not in the same. We don't have the same political beliefs. Uh, we're not on the same side, but sometimes loyalty smell the same. And I believe that he's um, the only person I can come and I can see that brought uh, GMB back to life, political life. He did that. He did that. He went out. He wake up early in the morning on the show. He did everything. I think in my belief, if JMB doesn't pick Heron Costa, he betray Heron Costa.
Loga.
It will be the biggest betrayal. It will be the biggest betrayal in modern politics in Liberia.
But Kev, what kind of fish you got to fry in that one?
I,
Thank you, Chairman. Ask him again.
But
you
look,
know,
let me
besides,
That you
monkey
business.
rich, monkey rich.
Kev, please leave her alone. I beg you, man. Worry
But
about
well,
how
well,
because
when I see loyalty, I know loyalty. I can tell. I
but
can
that's not your
see it.
business. And the same way you said that you thought that Kwagnon was lawyer. Yeah, nah. I don't think you know loyalty, man. Eh,
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good
yeah,
You know
I
what? I
consider
just,
that one. I consider that one. that one. That one
you know
good.
what? I just like to dispel the myth that people have around. Oh, he's a young man. He's a young man. But as a young man, see what Henry Costa have done. See where he have come from. Okay, this man came to America. He went. He got his bachelor. He got his master, and was still running things. So, isn't this a progressive person that somebody should look at? That he can come from this direction and move to the next direction. I mean, that myth of him being young, I want to dispel that. Seriously, I want to dispel.
Thank you. And guys, let's go to studio. I want us to go to Chairman Abilities. This is the last half, and then
Samuel
we'll.
Doe was less than 40 years when he
Let me
became
ask.
president.
Let
Samuel
Exactly.
me,
Doe.
yeah, but he
Yes.
wasn't elected. He wasn't elected, Musa. He wasn't
He was
elected.
elected for the second time that he
He
died.
got elected, he was still less than 40 years.
No, he
Kev,
didn't
Kev,
get
what
Yes.
you
there
were
by
saying?
election.
no, but quick question.
Huh?
Are you guys looking? Are you guys looking outside the CPP for running mate? Are you guys going outside the CPP? Are you guys looking?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Oh, okay.
Thank
You
you,
know, our
Chairman.
new framework
Oh,
document
oh,
gave
yeah.
the chairman the standard bearer free hand. So he can choose to anyone.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Let's talk about District Number 7, Nimba County. You running for this for the House of Representatives. Again, like I said, we're going to be showing some videos and some pictures. I mean, this is you right there. Talk about the district. Talk about the
Yeah.
work that you are doing there. What is happening here in this video, and just tell us about how far you've gone. I mean, are you on the road to the Capitol Hill?
Well, Ben, you know how I fight my game. I believe that it's not over until it's over. I don't believe in complacency. I believe in fighting, and my campaign in District 7 is particularly peculiar. this part of the country, we fought war. The tribes were against each other. I'm from the minority tribe. I recognize the fact that in order for me to even measure up with the other people, I have to do much, 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 much more. Uh, I'm happy that the community has received me. I'm happy that they're resonating with me, the women, the young people, and you know, I hope that I know that the result of this the seven will be the most anticipated result in Liberia, besides the presidential result. But I'm doing my best. I'm not going to put. I'm not going to make myself feel that I got a big hair on my shoulder. I'm fighting every day. I started this journey, and for me, this was a sanctuary. When the war was raging in the opposition community, my people call me and say, "Look, forget about that. Come and start here." They petition me, and so I'm. There's nothing, Ben, nothing in this 2023 election that will take me away from this journey, because I feel that the people really, really want me to be here to represent them. Last week, I
Mm.
mean, just this week, I took an array of community leaders and took them to Morovia. They spent some time with me. They spent the night at Belacasa. I took them around. They saw the executive mansion. They went to the Capitol building. They went to the Temple of Justice, and I even took them to my business facility, and they were happy. You know, I'm doing a whole lot here, but again, I want to remain focused. I want to make
Mm.
sure that, you know, yeah, I'm not going to say, yeah, I've already won. I'm not going to be like the turtle and the rabbit on a race. I am going to be on this every day until October 10th. So for me,
Musa,
that's the way it is.
so I don't know, studio, if we have those pictures of the road. You know, I'm extremely impressed with what you've done within the district, right? And I know you said to me you probably would say it here, but I know you said your plans as far as electricity is concerned, all of those things, right? Talk to us about the importance of road connectivity and why you're doing these things. Because obviously, let's be frank now, this is not the statutory responsibility of somebody who's running for representative. So it must be something you're doing beyond the Ability Development Foundation, the work that you guys are doing. Talk to us about this.
Then when I got here in this district, less than 10% of the district was accessible to by road. Uh, the city of Seklipi and Ban were literally closed. Ganta and Seklipi is being done by the government and the World Bank, so that is good. So one of the things I said to the people is that I will fix all the roads. All the roads in my district. As I speak to you, my district is fully connected. You can take a taxi. This is the only district in Liberia where outside of Monserrado, this is the only district where you can drive everywhere in a taxi. We begin to electrify the district with solar light. We already installed pretty close to 1,800 solar lights. We have a second batch of solar light coming that will be to illuminate the two cities. You know, we're also unique. We have two cities in our district, Ban and Seklipi, and we clearing the roads. We bringing in development. We have good radio programs. The people are happy. We have an agriculture program. We have a agriculture program. I mean, I'm happy that the things we're doing here. Registration is coming. That's why I'm here this week to prepare for the beginning of registration. And hey, man, you are going to come. You're going to see. And the work we're doing here, I believe that it will yield result for us.
And before the guys come in, I want Jackie to come in here, and then we'll go to Reverend Martin. Let me publicly thank you for facilitating, playing a role in me acquiring some farmland there in that district. So we're looking forward to joining the farming revolution when we get to Morovia. And I will be ready. And for the record, I will go and register in Nimba County. I can say that publicly now because I think it's going to be.
Yes.
I couldn't make the first half of the registration, but I have real estate now in Nimba, so
And
I can
Ben, that's
register.
something that I'm very proud of. Nimbayans across Nimba, everywhere outside of Nimba, are trooping. I mean, we have a call line, Ben. You can't believe it. The line can't even rest. They just want to come. Most of them did not register in Maserado. They say, we don't want anything from you. We just want to come and register. We know what you are doing there, and we cannot let it fail. So we're very proud. Inside Nimba, I mean, everywhere, residents of the city who live outside of the district, this time around, they say we're going back to our district. I think there's something great happening here. Hopefully the result will show.
Thank you, Jackie. You want to come in?
Yeah. Um, Chairman, as a candidate, what is your position on trucking? And I think I have three in one question for you. My second question is, you of course resigned as CEO of your company back, I think, in 2017, if I'm not mistaken. Your current CEO is also running for office. Your business has been very, very successful. Why do you want to leave the private sector and join the public sector as a representative? My third question for you is that the Constitution clearly outlines the roles and responsibilities of a lawmaker. Yet the constituents continue to complain day after day that when they elect their lawmakers, they fail to carry out their constitutional duties on their behalf. Want to do differently as a lawmaker? Why should the people elect you? Yes, we see that a lot of times aspirants, and even when people get elected, they will go and build infrastructure, pave road, and what have you. But the Constitution clearly outlines these roles and responsibilities, which is to accountability, pass laws. You looking at our concession agreement. Liberia is our soil is very, very rich. We have people who come take our natural resources, but day after day they abject poverty. You have the situation with corruption that the lawmakers themselves should help to curtail corruption. That's part of their constitutional duty in keeping check and balances in place. What are you going to do differently if you were elected as a lawmaker? So I hope you got the three questions. One is your view on trucking. Two, why are
Yes,
you leaving your
I got.
successful business? Okay.
So I will start with the last one because that's fresh. Really, Jackie, the issue of representation. What I did, when I before I made a decision, what you want to do is to first know what is priority to your people. You need to know that because they are the one that are the first reason why you are in the first you are represented in the first place. So I did that. I did a survey, I did consultation, then I realized that where I am, there are four things that are very important to my people. First on the agenda was road. Second on the agenda was education. Third on the agenda was light. The whole place is dark. And then fourth, agriculture and so forth. I took out light, I took out road, and say, I would make sure that I do this before I even get into office. So I'm not going to promise it and then get into office and then try to do it. So I will try to do some of these. The second part is the government of Liberia distributes $600 million on the average every year. You have to ask yourself, what is in this for the people that I represent? And you have to make sure that that question is answered. My vision for the legislature is that any government from the get-go, in addition to all other activity, the government of Liberia must be able to spend at least $1 million, which is $73 million, directly into the communities in each of the 73 districts. For me, that's my goal. It has to happen. Um, the budget, the legislature has abdicated over the supervision of the national budget. They pass the budget, they don't supervise it. The government, the executive comes back for a new budget without report on the old one. That's not going to happen while we are there. Those are critical things. The performance of government agencies as it relate to revenue generation, as it relate to public service provision. I- Today, public corporations don't even think that they are responsible to the people because the people representatives have abdicated. Who told you that when, if you read the street of Morovia, the whole traffic system has broken down. Under a good legislature, you have to summon those who are responsible, call them to order and say, do your work. If you don't do it, we'll either jail you or declare you unfit for public office. Or declare you unfit for public office. So at the end of the day, there are a lot of things. Come back to the legislature itself. Millions of dollars being wasted on duty free for the national legislature on petroleum. I think it's wrong. We need to review that. We need to make sure if you're a lawmaker, you take your pay, you take 7,000, you take 8,000, you must pay tax on it. If the fuel that they are giving you, you must pay tax on it. And that you have to, there are more than some lawmakers have over 30 individuals in the building. The legislature is like a market ground. Under us, it's not going to happen like that. It's going to be a place of where laws are made, and the dignity and respect of the legislator will be restored under us, which will allow us to monitor the performances of all of these multinational companies that we signed concession on. This concession by law, and I have to thank the previous government, Ellen Johnson government, each and every concession you see in Liberia has a 5-year review period. This review period come and pass without even notice to the public. So under us, we will make sure that all of the issues that are being resolved must be resolved in that 5-year and review. The performances, the Bureau of Concession will be empowered to make sure that there's a report from the Bureau of Concession to the national legislature on the performances of these entity. So lawmaking is not about sitting down in your car and going and signing for budget, and then you get a $30,000 and put it in your pocket and you don't care. Before during the Ellen government, in my district, there are 2 hospitals or medical center or we call them health center, one in Ban, one in Secretary. Under Ellen government, they used to receive, the one in Ban used to receive 150, and the one in Secretary used to receive 250. Today, the one in Secretary receive less than 75,000, and the one in Ban receive less than 50,000. Guess what? The budget passes, the lawmaker here passes that budget, takes $30,000, it doesn't care. I'm not going to do that. That those facilities, need to be taken care of. The budget need to account for it. Nimba County has so much money. I mean, what we've done to the city of Seklepie, as you can see in the picture, is one of the greenest city in Liberia. As you can see in that photo, almost you can't even see the building from the trees. Beautiful cities. Those streets were hidden for years and years and years. But today, when you reach to Seklepie, believe me, it's a different city. But give us 2 months, and then you will see the area view of the town will be. So we have a vision. We really, really have a vision on how we're going to see legislature, and you can achieve most of these things without antagonizing the executive or the judiciary. All the executive need to know is that today, as far as the executive committee, executive is concerned, the legislators don't know. So they never ask the question. What happened to
Thank you.
driver lesson? What happened to this? Nobody cares. There's no supervision. The Constitution says that the legislature shall exercise oversight responsibility over the executive. That is not happening.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you so much. And guys, we're running
And,
out
and,
of
and no, no,
time.
no. There are two other questions on the issue of
Yeah, let him
my
answer
Yeah, it's 11
business.
because they're
o'clock.
important.
On
Well,
the
let's
issue of
speak.
Jackie, I was
Uh-huh.
motivated to join business, to join government, because business is nothing if government policy is bad. Nothing. And take it from me as an example. You 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 we cannot sit by and let people with no competence continue to be part of our government. And remember, when you refuse to be part of the system, they make law, you live by it. So, since we're in a position where we're able to say no to bribe, we think we are in the best position to go and make changes in the legislature. And that's why we made that decision, both of us. And we're proud of our decision. On the issue of voter tracking, if you look at the Constitution, Article 80, Article D, E or D, again, it has to do with abdication of responsibility by the legislature. The Constitution guarantees every citizen the right to register in the district of their choice. And then it also, in that same provision, it also guarantees the right of the citizen to change their district, their constituency. Please,
Right.
if you want to look at it. Now, it says the legislature shall involve the means through which this movement can take place. My sister, the legislature has failed to do that. And because the citizen right to change their constituents is guaranteed in the Constitution, people have the right. Look, let me explain something to you. There is a representative in District 12 in Mosorado County that was running as senator in the last senatorial election while sitting down as senator. There was a representative, Representative Snow, for instance, was representative District 6 when he became representative in Grand Cape County, in Bombing County. The current representative of my district is not from my district. It's from District 8. So if the people are voting for are moving themselves, why should people right to move be curtailed? So as far as I'm concerned, there's no law that prevents people from moving one place to another. Should there be a law to do that? I don't know. And I think that it's a tricky question, because I think people who live in the area should be the one to make a decision for that area. But if you have leaders that are abdicating their responsibilities, that's what happens. The Constitution gave the right to the citizen to move around, but it also gave the right to the legislature to say how this movement can take place. If the legislature does not do their part, it is not a citizen business. They already have the right to move around.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We are running against time. Reverend Martin and the rest of the guys, please, we'll get you guys to come after the phone lines. We want to get our people to participate. Let the studio come in. I think the chairman has said a lot. Let the studio come in. Let's go ahead and open the phone lines and take some calls, and then we will get we'll get us to go ahead and do our closing arguments, and the people and the chairman will be able to also close on that. So, studio, if you want to come in, please come in. Let's go ahead and open the phone lines for the people. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Chairman Ben Sanvee. And so we go strictly to the phone lines. So to partake on the program tonight, you can place in your call on 0880 33 60 33 60, 0880 60 33 60, 0775 60 33 60. The
And it's
numbers
also
to
on WhatsApp.
call and form part of the program this evening.
And that number is also on WhatsApp, correct?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, so people can call in on WhatsApp.
So,
Well, Ben,
good evening.
Ben, I got to run to a wake this evening. I apologize.
Good evening.
No problem. Thank you very much, Martin. Thank you. I know you got to work late.
Good evening, you're live.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'll see you then. Thank you for having me, guys.
Good evening.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Hello?
Yes, you're live.
Yeah, my name is Charles Ford.
Go ahead.
Hello?
1 minute. Go ahead.
Yeah, my name is Charles Ford. I would actually like to thank the guy, the chairman, for that level of clarity he gave when it comes to trucking, because it's like most people don't understand. Most people haven't read the Constitution, and to now understand what the Constitution says when it comes to free movement of citizens having the right to go from one place to the other place. So thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much. Good evening.
Hello?
Yes, you're live. Go ahead. 1 minute.
Yeah, well, on the line, you called me off.
Go ahead now. You're live.
Yeah, now I just want to tell the chairman my own area like agriculture. If I send by him, why don't you send by me on agriculture? That's all my questions there to the chairman.
Okay. Thank you. Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, you're live.
Good evening.
Yes, good evening. You're live.
Yeah, am I clear?
Yeah, Poka.
Yeah. Am I clear?
Yeah, you're live. Go ahead, Poka.
Okay, thank you very much. And let me say good evening to the panelists. I mean the knowledgeable panelists of the closing argument. And I'm very appreciative to be on such a brilliant discussion with a brilliant force of the soul. But for the recognition, I'm Poka Robert. And I join you from a comfortable residence on the Capitol bypass. I'm very affiliate humbled and to further testify to be on such a discussion with a brilliant son of the soul. But I would like to appreciate Chairman Ability for his exposé. He has appreciated well. But one of the dishonestness I saw within his tone, or Chairman Ability, I may not be for his party, but Chairman Ability has done extremely well for our country, and for we for the CDC we like good. So when we see good, no matter we're not associated with you, but we always recognize your good. So Chairman Ability has done well, and I'm going to be very 100% appreciative of the good. But one of the
Poka, quickly, you got 1 minute. We have to take other calls.
One of the dishonestness I see in it too is not to tell not to tell the public about a suspended political leader or real attitude. They are asking whether she can be a running mate or she has the characteristic of being a running mate, and he is just beating around the bush or not
Thank you. He's just beating around the bush. Let's go for the score
suspended
overseas. Good evening.
or real attitude.
Hello, good evening.
Yeah, good evening. You're live.
Hello. Yes, good evening. Thank you so much for the opportunity to contribute on the show. Man, I saw Poca was kind of giving English hard time, but but to the issue, I want to thank Chairman Bailey for his honesty and for coming forth, and coming very strong when it comes to the issue of opposition unity. All we need in Liberia is opposition unity. It's important that these two individual boycott and come in, come in the room and decide on how they're going to move forward. If Liberia has to be redeemed from this government that is causing this country to continue to go down the drain, is a very serious issue. A lot of us here in the diaspora are hoping that
Thank you. Thank
they
you.
come to a consensus and they come to an agreement where they can rescue Liberia once and for all.
Thank
And
you.
to Chairman Benedict, thanks so much for the work that you are doing in Sacapia. I'm sure that the people of Sacapia.
Well, thank you. We got to hold you there. Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, you're live. Go ahead. 1 minute.
Thank you very much. My name is Damascus Friday, and I call from Cannonsville.
Let's hear you
I would
quickly.
like to extend thanks and appreciation to the panelists, Honorable Musa Hassan Bility, who has been in the vineyard for Liberians. Can you imagine a man who has people on payroll, more than 30 to 35 persons and above? This is the kind of person we should be putting in the legislature. This is the kind of person we should be taking for senator or representative, someone who has heart for the people. So, Mr. Bility, I want to say to you, wherever you are, I want to say God continue to bless you. And I pray and hope, whatever it takes for us to even go in Lima County to run your campaign, we will do it because we know you will make the difference. As you are making a difference in Screamer Oil and Gas, we thank you. May God continue to bless you. Mr. Bility, God bless you.
Thank you. So let's take this call overseas. Good evening.
Yeah, how you doing?
Yes, I'm okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm calling from Levittown, PA, and I'm Sipa Mesca. My contribution, I want to say a very much thank you to Chairman Berete on his contribution tonight. He proved that he's a leader that within the unite the opposition. All I want to say is to him is that Chairman Berete, I want you to keep it up. God gonna bless you. Liberia need this, and these are the kind of leaders we need in our country. I want to congratulate you so far, and I pray God can find another leader like you to help unite this country and take off from the Nima we are in right now. Thank you. God bless you a lot.
Thank you. Good evening. Well, good evening. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Yes, you're live. Go ahead. 1 minute.
Yes, my name is Ahmed G. Jariba, a food soldier of the Liberty Party 2017. I want to say hats off to my chairman, Chairman Ben Sanvee, and Chairman Musa Bility. Yeah. What I want to say to Chairman Bility is Chairman Bility, listen to the Secretary General of the Unity Party. He said, if anybody is coming to join the Unity Party in collaboration, yeah, definitely, if Baka will pick anybody, that person will have to join the Unity Party. So my question to you, will the ANC and the collaborating party be waiting for Alexander Kumi to resign from the CPP and join the Unity Party, or you people are going to form new names? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good evening.
I think let's just take A few more, and then because the chairman got to, I think it's 11 o'clock over there, so let's try to
Well,
wrap this thing
080
up.
60 33 60.
If there are no
Uh,
more calls, then we can just. Do you have another one?
okay. Okay, so
You
Credit
have
is
okay.
insufficient. Please recharge it.
So,
good
Mr.
evening.
Chairman, I think you heard. Oh,
Good
Good
evening.
all
evening.
right, let's take the last.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, good evening. Hello.
Yeah, you are live. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm Reverend Robert Du, calling from yeah, Cardinal.
Quickly, quickly.
Okay, thank you. I've been following, and I want to say thanks to Chairman Ability as well. I'm proud of him. And but what I want to say that honestly, I've been following this matter with the union with Burka and uh, Alexander Kumis. I want this station to be able to do an opinion poll because it looks like maybe people trying to play politics. The Liberian people, honestly, 100% want the Burka and Kumis ticket to who. If it doesn't go, it means that one person will have to wait for the friend to be president and the person wait another time. So do an opinion poll. Liberian people, many people, even today, I was following.
Well, thank you. We will do an opinion poll. Good evening.
Okay, then the
Yes,
last
hello.
caller now, please.
Yes, you are
Last caller.
live.
Yes, hello. Can you hear? Yes, my name is Augustus P. Flomo, and thanks for having me. It's my first time calling on your show, and I'm looking at your platform, and it's clean, nice, and second to none. I just want to commend you guys. You're doing a great job. And I know you guys do not want to mention other platform or other shows on your show, which is the sensible and how you call it, responsible thing to do. But we, the callers, we will mention it. We were told by Stanton and Eugene Fangon that your show was going to be a George Weah, a George Weah show supporting George Weah. That's Ben Sanvee, Tomalin George, and Dr. Peabody. If there's anything to go by what Stanton and Eugene said, then you guys are doing a terrible job, and I should send George your money back because then you are doing a very terrible job. Jackie over there is not just a supporter of Joe Waka. She belongs to the tag team. She's right up there with Henry Costa and Taylor Ure, and she's on the show. So if the closing argument, like Eugene Van Gogh and Stanton to us, were going to be a George Weah show, then you should send your money back. And in conclusion, um, uh, um, uh, Musa Belete.
Oh,
He said something on Spoon FM, and I think he's right.
absolutely.
Even though I'm not a supporter of Musa Belete, I don't support any opposition become a Georgia supporter. You see, if a wife leaves her house, people usually go to the wife and beg the wife, say, go back home. But in this case, the husband has not told the wife to leave. The wife left. So why are you going to Mr. Cummins and begging him to be Vice President Joe Walker? Joe Walker, who left the CPP, go to Joe Walker and say, go back home. So the guys who went to the Liberty Party office asking Musa Ability that Mr. Comey should be Vice President Joe Walker, I think it was disrespect. And that they should go to Joe Walker, who left the marriage, and beg Joe Walker to come back home. They shouldn't go to Mr. Cummins. But again, thanks for having me, and God bless you. And I'll be frequent on your show.
Well,
Bye.
thank you.
Thank
So,
you.
Chairman, there you
Well,
have it.
thank you.
And so the
Thank you,
calls
guys.
keep
Thank you, Aisha.
coming.
Thank you
And
for the
so,
callers. We want to thank all the callers. We
Ben,
have to
Ben,
wrap this
Jackie
up.
need to. I need clarification on that. Is she member of the GNB tag
Oh, she
team?
is. She is. Yes, she
Oh,
is.
I didn't know.
She's a member of the JMV tag team, and she's a strong supporter of VP Boycott. Yeah, and she publicly says it.
Yeah, but
So, but we want to.
next time you should let your guests know.
Oh, I didn't know. Sorry,
You
but
don't
I
think
thought we
that
said it.
you don't think I deserve to know?
Okay, well, Jackie, yeah. So, Jackie, the chairman is saying that
I was going
we
to
didn't get
answer.
full
I was going to
disclosure.
answer. I was going to answer all her questions there with a lot of suspicion in mind. But you let me answer the question.
But we trust your ability. So, you did the ability. So, but listen, Mr. Chairman. It was a fascinating conversation. I think you heard the callers. We want to give you a chance to speak to some of the callers I don't know if there was a lot of concerns. I think there were more positive comments for you from what I listened to. And then, just to thank you, man, for what you're doing. I know we had these conversations in the past, and I'm just extremely proud of what you're doing in District 7. And I think you would make a heck of a representative. I mean, I can't wait to see you, climb up Capitol building and go and rock things up. But go ahead and let's address the callers, and then let's see how we can get you out of here.
Yeah, I think this is a comfortable space for me. I respect people with different opinion. You know, Kev, I know how to fight with him, but I know how to ambush him. So it's very easy. A lot of people don't know how to deal with Kev, but I know how to ambush him. So if you need to deal with Kev, just call me up. But Jackie, don't mind all these guys on the show. They are all my personal friends. And I'm glad to be, with you again. It's a good reunion. I hope that one day, don't be talking about opposition unity, and then your friendship was tender. We got to face it some kind of way, in the future, guys. This thing here, we got to fix it. You know,
So that's full.
I'm
So that's
that.
full. You know what you calling for, do?
No, you can be here calling for opposition unity. Then you say you are. That is hypocritical. So we got to talk about unity all over the place. There's sometimes when there's conflict, maybe the time has to come. But I think that even if you don't have a professional relationship, the personal relationship, there will be attempt to try to suit it and make it smooth. We got to go on. But tonight was a good show. It's my first time. I feel good. I feel very comfortable. I feel like home. My guys, the questions we have for our country is how we can move this thing. Look, I don't care what we do. There are a lot of things we need to do together. We need to move fast as opposition. If we're going to go together, it's not the end of opposition unity. Let's find other ways to unify the opposition. But we must keep unity. My warning to all of us is that do not say that the other person will join you because they have no choice. They had choice. 2017, United Party did the same thing. The Liberty Party said, do not agree to go to how they call that thing then? Run off.
Run off. Yeah.
Stay with us to fight for rerun. For the UP, through some of their big shot and their leadership, went and made a deal with the assumption that anybody who goes with that person will win. It is wrong. It's not possible. If you want to face Weah, you got to face him with an understanding that if you're not together, you can't win him. So nobody should expect any of it. And this is for both CPP and Unity Party. If Cummings goes second round, and there's no understanding between the opposition, he should not expect Unity Party to support him. It's not going to happen. I know that as a matter of fact. And if the Unity Party goes second round and there's no understanding among the people, it is not going to happen. All the parties, those when you lose, you hurt. When you lose, you are angry. That's why you look for blame. You look for someone who is the reason why you did not win. The only way for us to avoid holding each other responsible for not winning is to have a standard set so that when we go by that from the get-go, we know that we didn't lose or the other person didn't lose because of you. So this is my plea to the opposition. CPP, we're open to it. We're not saying that if it doesn't happen, so the opposition unity has ended. I know that there are people in the Unity Party that don't support this, and I also know that there are people in the CPP that don't support this. If it doesn't work, it's not the end. We can go on to collaborate in other ways, and let's stop accusing each other. I It will not help us. And for the CPP, everything that happened to us, for the sake of Liberia, it beyond honor. Even Kev Hassan can bring it for the next 5 years. Will not remember it. Liberia is first, Liberia is last, and we'll move on. And we ask our brothers across to reach to us so that we meet each other halfway and come with an understanding that will be good for the country. Thank you guys, and it has been a wonderful, wonderful night. Thank you.
Thank you,
Mr.
Chairman.
Chairman, thank you so much. Proud to call you friend. Thank you for your work that you're doing. And thank you for your leadership. Thank you for your leadership. I know it's been a tough, tough last 2 years. I've seen it firsthand, first row. But listen, the price of leadership is not easy, and heavy is the head that wears the crown. And as you call for reconciliation, I join you in that call. You have my full support for our people to find a way for all of us to come together and to begin a constructive conversation on the forward march movement of the Liberty Party. But I want to thank you for all that you have done and you continue to do. And good luck, and I'll see you next week when I get in, and look forward to killing one good in Saclay. But it's good to see you, my brother.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good. Guys, I thought this was a fascinating conversation. I thought he broke a lot of news. I mean, I think the angle of talking about the VP thing, I think it was smart of him to put it on UP's lap. It's out there. That's the chairperson of the CPP. I don't think he will come on this platform and make such a statement if he didn't have the blessing of his standard bearer. I think if that call is placed, I think the conversation will begin. But before I say that, people are asking why they didn't see Tomalin George. Studio, you got that picture, right? Uh, Tommy George got caught up in I think he got kidnapped by the ALP. They got him locked up on a Wokie farm. He's there having dinner and enjoying himself with one of the prospective vice presidential picks, Mr. Costa. I see Mr. Ure. Studio, it's in the chat room. You guys try to put that picture up. Let's see why Tommy didn't show up today. And he said that we should announce that I think next Wednesday. That's what he said, right? Next Wednesday. I think next Wednesday our guest will be Madam Telia Ure, who is the vice chair for political affairs of the All Liberian Party. So we look forward to having a conversation with Madam Ure. But that's the reason why we haven't seen Tomalin George. Hopefully the studio will get the picture and they'll go ahead and put it up. It's in the chat room. You can go ahead and I've sent it to yourself. What's his name? Good, there it is. Yeah, I thought I was sending it in general in the chat. I sent it to you, Randall. There's Tomalin George right there. There's Tomalin George right there, as you can see him. You see Henry Costa. You see Mr. Ure. Miape, I see Miape Gono. Yeah, Miape, Telia Ure. The whole group is over there. So yes, that's why Tommy didn't show up. There you have him. There you have him again. He neglected us tonight because he's having dinner. He's having dinner on
Really?
Wokie Farm. Wokie Farm.
Yes.
But anyway, our brother is in good spirit. Our brother is in good spirit. We look forward to having Madam Ure show up next week. Madam Ure show up next week, Wednesday. But guys, let's do our closing arguments. We'll go ladies first. Jackie, you want to go ahead and take a stab at this thing, and let's try to wrap this thing up. I think we're out of time already.
It was definitely good having Chairman Billity on the show today. He answered, I think, most of the questions, if not all of them. So we appreciate that. Next time he comes on, I look forward to talking to him more as a candidate, as a representative candidate, and his vision and his plans for the people of district. Is it District 7?
7
In
in Imbanga.
Nimba, yeah, District
Mhm.
7, and also as a potential national legislator in the interest of the 5 million people. So I'm interested in that because one thing about our politics in Liberia, a lot of the Liberians, maybe they don't know to do that. They only focus on the person building a latrine here or building road, doing paving road or a school and clinic, but we really don't interview. We as the citizens don't take our time to listen to what that person has to say according to what their role, their future role under the Constitution should be. So we don't know to ask these questions. Again, that's partly due to our high illiteracy rate, but we are here, we have a platform, so we should be asking these candidates the questions on behalf of the Liberian people. So I look forward to seeing him here next time so we can focus more on his candidacy as a representative. It was a wonderful show. Thank you to the so many Liberians and the listeners in Liberia and across the globe who tune in to listen on the show today. So thank you.
Thank you, Jackie, and you're right, absolutely right. We'll go ahead and let Keff Hassan come in, and then Dr. Peabody.
Great show, great show, great show. Um, Whenever you get Musa ability, he always break news, straightforward, uh, talking guy. Uh, Looking forward to Miss Ure on coming on the platform next week. Another tag team that will be
It will
having.
not be easy. Two tag
People.
team. Kev, you're down. Get
uh,
ready.
uh, yeah, I know Jackie will be giving her softball question. She probably went it back and start preparing a softball question. But hey, that's what they do. But uh, let me say this. I don't understand this thing. You don't have the same ideology. You don't see eye to eye. You want to cook. Don't you say you should come together? What are you talking about? It don't even make no sense. Should come together based on one goal, one ideology, one mentality. How you see Liberia. The other one say the other one are criminal. The other one say the other one are criminal. Then you say you should come together. I don't know. You think Liberia that dumper? Come on, man. Come on. Come on. I just gonna leave it. Yeah, seriously. Great show.
Thank you. Kev. Thank you. Dr. Peabody, you want to close your closing argument?
Man, not a great closing argument. I think it was great to have Chairman Ability here. I think he put it out there. And I like the fact that they are open for anything. Now, the rumors in Monrovia is that folks are going around. Mr. Cummings is very stubborn. He doesn't want to be the vice president, all of that. When nobody have engaged Mr. Cummings, nobody have asked Mr. Cummings to be their vice president. So I think what Chairman Ability say here is that he left it open. You know, if the Unity Party, as they saw the group demonstrating yesterday and calling for, oh yeah, we want you guys to run together. Let's see what's going to happen. It's open. It's out there. There was an open invitation for Europe, but I think Chairman Billy did a great job. You know, especially talking about what is needed in his town, the village. I think he have done a great job. I drove through there, Sacre Pied, 2 weeks ago, and I seen how the roads are really opening. I mean, beautiful, beautiful place. The land and landscape and everything, very beautiful. But I think we did a great job. It was a great show, and I'm glad that Celia will be coming on so that folks will not the myth that folks have lies that we are a government paid show and all of that. Just we're not here to run competition. We're not here to uh, be negative to folks. But the myth they have out there, I'm glad that folks are coming. So we're looking forward. We are just fair and balanced. We're not a courthouse here. We ask you the question, you answer it, or you don't answer it. We're not a courthouse. But overall, it was a great show, and I'm looking forward to a great one on Monday. My man Timothy and the rest. My namesake Costa in Carrisburg, man. Keep it down, brother. Just hold it down as usual. All right, but great show, Ben. Great show.
Thank you, guys, and I want to thank all of you. And I want to publicly announce that Jackie will be hosting the show on Monday. So you're just get ready. If Jackie doesn't host the show on Monday, I'm not. If I'm gonna stay in the back until she hosts it, and then you can start hosting it moving forward. But no, I'm just. I thought it was an exciting conversation. I want to thank everybody for tuning in and giving us the attention. Is I think we went over a good bit of the time, but I want to thank everybody. I want to thank everybody for their support. Augusta Pape Flumo, all the people who call, thank you. Y'all continue to share the show. Continue to share the show. There have been a lot of conversation about people still saying they can't find it. Go to KMTV Liberia Facebook page. Turn on your notification. Once the show starts, you will get it. Look for the bell. When you go on the Facebook page, there's a little bell there. Find it. Just click on KMTV bell. Once that bell is clicked on, you will get the notification the moment the show comes on. You will get the notification, and then don't stop sharing it. Share it because somebody else will be able to see it and they will be able to have access to it. But I think it was a great conversation. I want to thank Musa for coming. I think like he rightly said, we're going to continue to get better. We want to thank our folks there at KMTV, Hot FM, Truth FM, who relayed us today, Puma FM, and all of the stations that are relaying us. I want to thank all of you for your support. We're going to get better. We're going to continue to get better. We're looking to bring in more people to have a conversation with them. Most of the players, most of the players are lining up and they want to begin to have the conversation. The last show we had Clarence Moneyba. Thought that was another great conversation. He's gotten some positive reviews from that. We want to thank Dr. Moneyba for coming and his team for availing themselves to us. So without further ado, I don't know about you guys, but I'm tired. I'm exhausted.
Yes, time to go.
This was a long marathon. I say you want to take it over, and we will see you guys on Monday. Thank you, and have a great evening, guys. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
All right, guys. Have a good night. All right.
Thank you.
Bye, Liberia.
Well, thank you, folks. Thanks for watching KMTV and listening to several stations across the country. Well, the Association of Firestone, the Association of Firestone residents in the Americas will on tomorrow dedicate a modern library for students in Firestone. And so we hope to bring you coverage on that tomorrow. Until then, my name is Aisin Eva, and on behalf of the entire crew here at KMTV Liberia, we want to say thanks for watching KMTV and have yourself a good night.